Greetings and salutations, women and men of all sizes. Particularly you, lazy one. I see you there. You're a fat one, aren't you? I can tell. We're starting with the fat shaming today, because we are going to be talking about our respective fetishes, aren't we, V?
Hasbin Hotel.
That as well. V popped on because he wants to talk about Hasbin Hotel, because that is a thing he disagrees with me on for once. So that'll be an interesting topic outside of the planned ones. A sudden change of plan. We'll also talk about... See, okay. Entertainment is dead, right? Not dead. It's going to enter into repose for a while. Our golden age is over, as exemplified by, for example, Avatar: The Last Airbender needs to be more like Game of Thrones. Like,
No.
why?
This isn't new. I remember Battlestar Galactica came out and then every single show tried to copy it.
Yes.
Do you remember that Stargate going like, oh, we need to be like Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
And yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Okay, I actually kind of enjoyed Battlestar Galactica for what it was,
Everyone
right?
did, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it fucking ruined science fiction.
It did.
It really did.
It moved it, yeah. Moved it back into like soap opera zone, I guess. And everything has to be like dark and edgy and super serious.
Yep. And again, the focus on interpersonal relationships, because that worked in Battlestar Galactica, because the entire point was you don't know who you trust, right? But now every every science fiction show is that. And never mind intergalactic politics or weird aliens or shit like that. No. How do you feel today? Do you want to bitch about something?
That's why I liked Mass Effect when it came out, because it was about aliens and their culture and their different stuff.
No more, though. No more. Hell, even Andromeda. Andromeda, the tale about colonizing a distant galaxy, all the shit you could do there, it was still just, basic bit stupid aliens did something stuff over here, Forerunner nonsense, blah, blah, blah. And how does my
it was
companions
about
feel?
it was about your relationship with your father
Oh, yeah.
and the relationship with everyone else on board, etc., etc.
Much disappointment.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, Dev. Late as always, I see.
Dev, do you
Only
watch
by a minute
Hasbin
or two.
Hotel?
No, my girlfriend does.
Perfect.
Good. You can
Not going to be able
present
to contribute.
your girlfriend.
No, because I wouldn't want a situation where it's like me and Dev versus you, Arch, or you and Dev versus me, and it's like a lot more balanced now.
I can take on Dev.
What, do none of us watch Hasbin Hotel?
Oh, if he wanted to talk about Hasbin Hotel, because he disagrees with my take on it, because I watched it and reviewed it, and my opinion is it's a very pretty dangly keychain that is, bouncing in front of my eyes, but a pretty
Yeah.
dumb one too.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I mean, you said a couple of things that I take disagreement with. Like, for instance, you said that Adam is the only male character that's
He is.
interesting.
Oh, no, I specifically, Adam is the only man in the show.
How is Lucifer or the radio demon not manly man in the show?
Lucifer? No, not Lucifer. The radio demon is, his entire plot is that he's somebody else's bitch, probably Lilith's bitch. And Lucifer is just a weird, freaky daddy who wonders about how his daughter feels about him. Like, that's his entire character.
Yeah, but they do have like really high. I mean,
Yeah,
I,
both.
for once,
Let me
like
put it
the
like
radio
this:
demon.
both of them are subservient to the women in their lives.
Okay, but by that logic, Adam is also subservient to the high angel, to Sarah.
Yeah, but not actually. Firstly, that's kind of different, because that's literally like the military order of heaven, as in anyone is subservient to God, And secondly, he kind of isn't. He's like, oh yeah, no, I'll shut up about that whole extermination thing. Then he sings about it 5 minutes later.
Hey, no, look, the whole thing that I want to say, the radio demon. While you don't like him, but you say, well, he's.
I don't dislike him. He's a cool character, and he's got a very interesting aesthetic. But continue.
I do think like he's a manly character. I would say that he is more interesting than Adam, because you don't know his angle. You don't know if he's trustworthy. You don't know if he's evil. I mean, technically he is evil, but like you just don't get a vibe on him.
I don't know about that. I think Alistair's character is actually pretty simplistic in that he is using Charlie for his own goods, and this will turn out like every Disney cartoon does, which is what this essentially is, that he'll screw her over and then eventually be talked out of it through song.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
but I would, yeah, but like Adam as well, you know, like if you're saying, well, this is a Disney cartoon, like you knew that Adam was going to get defeated.
Yes, you did. And it is also that they had to defeat him because he is the only man in the show. Like, he had to lose. And he had to lose in the most pathetic way possible.
I don't think that's why he had to lose. The thing is, like you said, it's because he's misogynistic.
Okay.
I think the problem with Adam is that he... Go on.
Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen here, okay? And let's hear if you cringe as hard as I did, all right? Serpentius went to heaven, right?
Yeah.
Adam's going to go to hell.
Yeah.
And Adam's going to be picked up by fucking angel dust or some gay twink. And he's going to fall madly in love with this gay fucking twink. And he's going to be like, oh my god, I was such an asshole. The feminine penis has shown me the way.
Let me think if it's going to be angel. Probably not.
No, probably
but I
angel
wouldn't be
dust.
surprised. Yeah, he is going to have a redemption arc. Yeah, I do think that's the case.
Yes, but his redemption arc is going to be him getting subservient to a twink, a gay character, I swear to God, or a woman at least. That is going to be his redemption. Because
hold on, it's like, well, you're kind of making it so that there's nothing left. It's like, okay, well, he's going to fall in love with a man or a woman. I mean, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, and that will be his redemption because he's gonna get pussy whipped by this character. Like the only man in the show is going to be pussy whipped.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think Adam is the only man in the show, number one. And I don't think like he is the type of male that you would want to emulate. The main problem with Adam is that he is sadistic. Like, the reason that he does the extermination is because for those of us with divine ordainment, extermination is entertainment. Yeah, like he is a vile monstrosity. Like he doesn't do what he does for justice or good or to defend others. He literally does it out of sadism. I don't know, like why you like this character so much.
Well, here's the thing. Firstly, he probably doesn't. He was definitely under contract from Lilith, which is probably a part of the reason why. Secondly, you gotta understand this is from the point of view of a angel, like a pure believer, right? There's a very clear distinction here: heaven good, hell evil. And this is the issue that a lot of the show struggles with, because hell isn't evil. There's nothing particularly weird about hell. Hell is just a pride parade, practically.
I mean, no, it is evil. Like, they have people murdering each other for fun, and they have cannibals and...
Yeah, but that's more because it's just a shitty place. Like, the people in hell itself, like, even the overlords, like, what's the worst businesses we see? A porn studio, a weapons shop? Like, where's the child slavery rings? Where's the exterminators because you're the wrong color?
You do have, like, angel dust being made a sex slave against his will.
Not against his will.
Well, yeah, I mean, he signed the contract, but, like, after that, like, his soul is sold. So, like, he can't do anything in order to escape it.
Yes. Because hell is a shitty place. No, and that's one of the problems as well, right? Because the show seems to suggest that the angels don't know why people go to heaven, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if there are no rules, if it's just pure random...
No, I think it's implied that they don't know, like, who teleports them there, right? And if you look at Serpentius at the end, he actually doesn't become just an angel, he becomes a seraph.
I think that's speculation at the moment, but possibly.
He's got, like, all those eyes, and he's teleported in the room, like, it's not in front of St. Peter, he's teleported, right? So, like, the question would be, like who moves these pieces? Like, who gets to teleport Seraph after death and makes him... Sorry, who gets to teleport Serpentius after death and gets to make him a Seraph? Like, that's what they don't know. Yeah,
the decision-making process. But clearly, there must be some sort of moral element to this, because hell's shit. And it seems to be filled with people who make it shit. Because there's no resource shortage in hell. They've got television, they've got fucking radios, they've got cars, they've got alcohol. There's no indication that hell sucks, like, because it's
poor. This is what I wanted to get. Like you're looking at this from the point of, like, a shonen. or from a universe that tries to emulate the same logical consistencies that we would expect for a mature show. When in reality, this is more like a Disney movie or like a Scooby-Doo. It's a comedy musical.
It's a woman's show. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's made by a woman, yeah. It's like
Yes.
trying to apply the same logic to How I Met Your Mother.
Kind of, but this is also like basic world building.
Service
Like if one
guaranteed
place is shit
citizenship.
and another place isn't shit, and the distinction between the two is a moral one, then some moral distinction between the two must be made. Like it's not a coincidence that heaven is way better than hell.
I think like the moral distinction is that the people who are nice in life, they go to heaven. Like we don't know like what causes the winners to be winners and the sinners to be sinners. Like they're probably going to get to that.
Yes.
From what I gathered, like the reason that the angel lost is the anime training arc where you need to fight for love.
Well,
Like as long as you're fighting for someone, you're going to win. That was
Sort
like
of.
the moral. Yeah.
the angels lost because of plot devices. Suddenly, hell is overflowing with angelic weaponry, which they've apparently never tried to use against the
I mean,
angels.
again, it's not. Yeah, it's not a shonen. Like it's more like a comedy musical.
You
so they're-
gotta critique the show based on world building. Like this is poor world building.
Yeah, it is. It is poor world building, but it's still entertaining. Is my point.
Oh
Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, like not every single show needs to have like perfect Warhammer 40k world building in order to be entertaining.
No,
That's my
but
point.
you can also then see like the point behind it because they eventually win because
Well,
Lucifer
just one
arrives.
thing, just one thing. It's like like in Stargate when they're going through all these different worlds and everyone speaks perfect English.
Yeah.
Like that is bad world building, but I'm
Yeah.
willing to like be like whatever, And it's the same here with the weapons for the angels. I mean, they could have had like 3 more episodes where like they're trying to smuggle the weapons from heaven or something, but would have it added that much?
Considering the amount of episodes they kind of wasted on dumb shit, like the singing with dad episode, kind of yes.
You know what? I gotta say, the reason I like Hasbin Hotel so much is that it actually is one of the shows that puts empathy on family, and it actually shows that Lucifer is a genuine dad that gives a shit.
I don't know about that because
Name me another show that has like the relationship between father and daughter. Go. That came out
'cause
within the last 6 years.
in part, actually, The Last of Us, but get fucked.
Oh, fuck
Get
off.
fucked, me.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's actually true. Even though it was, hold on.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's why I said
even
love,
though it's a
fuck off.
very bad show, they
Yes.
do like the core of it is that relationship, and it's actually a pretty good representation of that relationship.
Yes. Oh, fuck off. But you know what? It didn't come out in the last 5 years, so still you can't.
Oh, yes, it did.
It did. We actually
No,
reviewed
no.
it just like a year or two
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, fine.
Oh, Last of Us TV show. Let me see here. 2023. Yeah, it was early last year.
Oh wait, well, hold on. I thought you meant the video game, right? I haven't watched the TV show.
But
The TV show is worse than the video game. They ruined a lot of the lore. But the core relationship is still there. Yeah.
and I actually agree with you on this, V, because
Service
one of the things that I found
guaranteed
very
censorship.
fascinating about Hasbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which I watched afterwards, despite all of the like the raunchy jokes that like everyone's gay, etc., everyone's in a monogamous relationship. Like everyone has a decent relationship. Everyone has friends and family members that they value. Like it's very conservative.
You know what's interesting? Yeah, do you know what's interesting? You have the Hell of a Boss, and in that, which is a spin-off, and in that show you have like 2 imps, and they're in a relationship, a heteronormative relationship,
Yep.
and they
Loving
love
relationship.
each other, and they love each other, and there's no plot twist. It's like he's not cheating on her, she's not cheating on him. There's no. It's just like literally a couple. It just loves each other, and I'm thinking like, is there anything else that came out within the last 6 years that depicts just like a normal, healthy relationship between a man and a woman? And I
V?
couldn't think of anything.
V, I like that you're using leftist language now.
Cis heteronormative.
But am I wrong?
Heteronormative.
Yes, but I'm using it on purpose to mock them. But
Mhm.
am I not right though? Like, is there any show that came out within the last 6 years which shows like a normal relationship without any caveat? You know, like she's not trying to use him, he's not trying to use her, he's not abusive, she's not cheating. It's just like they're in love and that's it.
I have to think about it.
Not
I mean,
many.
to be honest though, when you're just in love and that's it, that's kind of a boring story. There's not much drama
Oh,
there.
and why is Hell of a Boss doing it properly then?
I don't know. I haven't seen
It's
that show.
it's also the scale of it. That's the thing. Like everyone in these shows are in normal, healthy relationships. Even Adam, right? He talks about how he's a sexist and hits on people in the first episode, like how he does it, right? You never see him with another woman except Loot. Not once. No, you never see him hit on anyone.
Yeah, the reason that I hated Adam wasn't because he was a misogynist or whatever, is that he was sadistic. And when he's got like this girl, you know, the daughter of Lucifer going to heaven, and it's like, oh, well, maybe we can redeem souls or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm going to attack your hotel first. Even though like she doesn't do anything wrong by him up till that point. Like she never treats him with disrespect. She never attacks him or anything. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to fuck up your hotel." Even the seraph is like, "That was uncalled for."
Well,
So that's why
again,
like Adam is a piece of shit. It's not because he's like misogynistic or he's making bad jokes or whatever. Like his motivation is purely sadistic.
no. His motivation is I'm the only male character in this show, and the bitches be getting out of line, yo.
I'm not sure. I didn't see it like that. I mean, I didn't see him like an Andrew Tate even. It's like he's fat. He lets himself go. He's petty.
Oh, he is petty.
And not to mention, you know, like you're looking at the angels, like you have like this chick, which I hate her as a character, like Vagina or whatever her name is.
Vaggie. Yeah.
Yeah. And her whole thing is like she doesn't want to kill a demon, so the other angels pull out her eyes and leave her for dead. And it's like,
And
I can't root for these people. Like, I'm sorry, there's no.
It makes perfect sense within their paradigm because they're angels, they're demons, and in any normal universe, that makes them the good guys and the demons the bad guys, straight up. And this is but because this is written by a woman, it's reversed here with the angels being the evil, and the demons. The demons are just people. That's kind of the problem. There's this background noise of them being bad people, but
I
like
think,
even
like,
Cannibal Town is presented positively.
Yeah, I think like what we're going to notice is that there's good people and bad people in hell, and there's good people and bad people in heaven. I think that's what they're going for.
I hope so, but
I mean, you have like that little angel. What's her name? Not the smaller seraph.
Emily, I think.
Yeah, Emily. Like Emily is genuinely good.
Yes, but even Seraphim seemed to do what she thought was right in her own twisted ways. I do think that they're going to try and humanize both sides, but I really feel like a lot of flavor is lost by doing that instead of leaning into them. Because it, again, from a world building perspective, I hate it a lot because it doesn't give a good explanation for why hell is a shithole and why heaven is so obviously better.
I mean, if you have a place where like all the murderers and bad people go, and another place where all the decent people go, like obviously the first place is going to end up.
Also,
worse.
I realized another thing here. You know why Adam is absolutely morally correct to reject the entire idea of redemption and just go fuck you, bitch? It's because Charlie's entire plan is increased immigration to heaven.
But that happens anyway.
Lost.
From a shithole third world country.
No, but like the thing with Adam is that
with a very different culture.
No, well, actually, from the point of view of Adam, is that he believes it won't work anyway.
He probably doesn't think it'll work either anyway, but like that is his core objection. What, you want to flood our borders with criminal immigrants, do you? How about no?
Yeah, but like in this alternative reality, like if someone from hell actually goes to heaven, then their soul is actually, you know, undergone the transformation required, and it's just like a person from Earth dying and their soul goes to heaven. Because apparently that's the requirement, like you have to die, right? You gotta do good deeds while in hell, which would be incredibly difficult because you're surrounded by monsters. And you gotta do good deeds, and then you die in hell, and then you get to heaven. So like the requirements are quite strict.
Potentially, but this also comes back to the idea of world building, right? So you got one chance life. What you do in life is what matters. Okay, but when a soul is killed in hell, what happens? From what we can see so far, the soul is reborn. Either in heaven or hell or on earth. Which actually means that what the angels are doing is the correct thing, as they are offering rebirth, redemption, the chance of another.
No. I think what happens is that normally if you die in hell, you die forever. But there is like the exception, and I think like the snake one is the only soul that ever undergone this. That if you are in hell and you commit good deeds, then you go back to heaven when you die.
Possibly, but we haven't seen the mechanism of that, and so assuming that they die seems unreasonable as well, especially as we know nothing of Earth.
I know that this is the case because there have been like overlords that got killed and they don't get to be reborn. So
we don't know.
If you die in hell, you die in hell.
We don't know if they've been reborn in real
okay,
Earth.
I know how you can know, right? Like the whole reason they do the extermination is to decrease the population. So if they would be reborn, then the exterminations would have no sense.
Yeah, if they were reborn in heaven. But as you say, that is a very, very rare thing. So it's more likely that their souls are simply sent back to Earth, the mortal coil.
I think like they just go away. Like the other Seraph was shocked when she heard about it. It's like, oh, you're killing souls, like human souls. So like I don't think they're going back to Earth. I think they just cease existing.
I think there's no evidence for either one. But
yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, like we're going to have to wait for another season to.
Yes. But this is why, like, Adam's the best fucking character. He's the only male. He doesn't want his nation taken over by criminal immigrants, literally. Like, as you say, here's a country. This country.
No, he's not. No, you're now assuming things because, like, at no point does he even believe.
He
doesn't even believe it's possible.
He goddamn sings about it. Like, rather cross the pearly gates, you had your chance. Heaven is hell is forever, etc.
Yeah. But that's like the natural order of things, right? But he actually says several times, it's like, first of all, he says that she's never going to manage to do it. But secondly, he says that the reason he doesn't want it is because extermination is entertainment. So like if they would be able to go to heaven and get redeemed, then he wouldn't get his entertainment.
But his entertainment causes them to be redeemed. As we saw with Serpentius. Killing Serpentius was what caused him to be... So I don't think that functions.
I think that anyway Serpentius would have died, like even if he wouldn't be killed by an angel, like if he was killed by, I don't know, like another overlord or something, he would have gone in heaven anyway, right? Like Adam isn't the one that got Serpentius to be redeemed. It was Charlie by helping him see the light and the actions that Serpentius took, which cleansed his soul. And when he died, and in any way that he would have died, the result would have been the same. He would have gone to heaven.
I think that's an even bigger assumption.
Well, no, there's no reason to believe that he goes to heaven because like Adam killed him.
Well, he goes to heaven because he tried to sacrifice himself, but even that is wafer thin because he didn't actually succeed in doing that. His intent was to do that.
It doesn't matter. Like but like in Christianity is the intent, right? And it's also the fact that at no point does Adam even considers that his actions is going to redeem Serpentius.
No, because he doesn't even know if it's possible. But again, his primary purpose for doing this is to prevent hell from overflowing into heaven. Like that's stated in the promo.
No, I think it's entertainment, literally.
No. They stated this in the promo, that hell is overpopulated and it's... Yeah, they decided to do the exterminations to prevent the overpopulation. Yeah,
like Sarah, right? The Seraph, that's her justification, and it's why she sends Adam. And Adam is doing it for fun. Like, he probably does, like there's at no point does he say, oh, well, we need to keep hell. No, it's like he just enjoys doing it.
Like, listen, border agents can enjoy their job. They're still border agents.
Yeah,
and that's what Adam is. He's a border agent.
I think you're applying real world politics to this. I think that you're trying to make Adam like a MAGA guy.
Well, because he is.
No, he doesn't think that the souls can go to heaven. That's the problem, right? Like if he believed that, then you'd have a point. But he doesn't think so. Like the only thing that he wants is for the exterminations to continue because he's having fun murdering people.
I don't think he's considered it.
Hold on a second. I've posted something in the link channel. We're gonna start talking about real world politics. Pull that up.
Hasbin Hotel is just a big ass allegory for the genocide in Palestine. Yep.
Because of course it is.
I have everything.
Yeah, I can't really add to this conversation. Sorry, guys, I haven't seen the show, so.
Yeah, maybe I should stop because it's.
I mean, I don't mind. I'm not listening to you guys go on. It's okay.
I don't know. Like, does the chat wanna keep talking about this? Because.
Listen, I don't mind just sitting around. So I mean, I'm going to be sitting around in D&D now that you guys are reviving me. So
Listen, there's a country. It's populated solely by rapists, murderers, and killers.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam doesn't want people from that country to enter America.
Yeah, but like take into account that in order for someone from hell to go to heaven, they need to have like their soul genuinely purified.
Oh, we don't know that.
Like-
we'll see. We'll see in season 2, I guess, with what Serpentius
No,
acts
but like that's Charlie's idea, right? Like she wants them to stop being sinners.
Yes, but the issue is we haven't had a definition of what a sinner is yet. Because the issue is, like, because if you go to heaven for, unselfish deeds, right? Then Husk surely must go to heaven. Then Angel Dust surely must go to heaven. Then Charlie surely must go to heaven.
Well, Charlie isn't in heaven because, she was born in hell. So, like, she's actually...
Yeah, but she's still a soul, presumably.
Yeah, I think, like, if Charlie dies, she would go to heaven, yeah.
Yeah, but again, like, if everyone's such a
Lilith is
good
in
guy...
heaven, so...
Yeah, and that's the issue too. So you can clearly cross over between the realms, which also means that the heavenly fear that hell will overflow and invade heaven also seems far more reasonable now.
I think like they were afraid like they would rise up, right? So like they would have like an actual rebellion. But Charlie's plan would probably work on very few people, and those that would go, like they would actually have to integrate. Because take into account like it's not her decision. Like when they die, like someone else decides, and they go to heaven. Right, based on like a higher power.
They will be forcibly integrated.
Yes.
Well, I like the idea.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's accurate to compare it with real life scenario.
I think everything should be able to be compared to the real life as much as possible, because that is storytelling. Storytelling is a rhetorical argument.
Everything is political.
Women aren't very good at rhetorical arguments. That's my conclusion.
Everything is racist. Everything is sexist. Everything is homophobic.
With Hasbin is that a lot of people are treating it like a shonen. I treat it more like a telenovela. It's kind of like watching Scooby-Doo and wondering like why after 30 episodes they didn't realize that the ghost is just another guy with a mask.
Sorta, but
it doesn't need to have like the best world building as long as it's entertaining.
Sort of,
as
but
long
again,
as I'm watching it for like 30 minutes and I'm having fun.
This is a subjective the audience argument rather than a qualitative argument.
I mean, it can make up with quality with other things. Like, for example,
to put
the
it like
songs
this.
are insanely good. And some of the characters are great. I mean, I like the Radio Demon. I like Lucifer. Adam wasn't that bad. I'm really fascinated by the character of Lute. So, like, while the world building isn't there, and there are some plot holes, it makes up with the other things. Yeah.
Let me put it like this. Some people, like Dev, really enjoy getting paid.
No.
Okay? That doesn't make begging an objectively good experience. It's just that
like,
somebody
I don't like... I don't accept the idea that story über alles. Like unless you have, like, the perfect world building... and the story is amazing, then no.
It's a flaw. Like, it doesn't have to be everything. Like Hasbin Hotel's entire
let me give you an
pitches.
example, right? Xena Warrior Princess. Like Xena Warrior Princess, I've watched a couple of episodes now, or Buffy Vampire Slayer. You watch the episode, that they have plot holes, the story doesn't make sense, the world building is shit. But they're still enjoyable and they're classics, right? So if it makes up with other things,
yes, and
I think like it can still be good.
This is why I don't actually hate Hasbin Hotel, because I enjoy what parts of it I can enjoy. Xena Warrior Princess was enjoyable because Lucy Lawless is a hot fucking babe, okay?
And you like Callisto as well, though.
Yeah, Callisto best girl. No question about it. Callisto best girl.
Service guarantees citizenship.
And Hasbin Hotel has beautiful animations. It has a stellar voice casts, but the plot is a pain.
Yeah, I think that the moment you start watching Hasbin Hotel as what it is supposed to be, which is like a comedy sing-along, rather than watching it as like a Game of Thrones episode, you're going to enjoy it more.
I've literally said this too. If I could lobotomize myself, I would enjoy Hasbin Hotel more. Rather yet, if I could get a vagina, I think I'd love it.
No, but okay, when you watch Spanish telenovela,
I do not watch Spanish telenovelas.
All right. Well, when you watch, I don't know, like Xena Warrior Princess, if you'd watch it now, would you watch it for the plot and the story?
No,
Or would you watch it for the entertaining?
I
like,
would watch it with the
jokes,
rose-tinted glasses of 13-year-old Arch looking at Lucy Lawless going, she's pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, there are shows that I watch in order for, like the plot and the world building and stuff. But then when I watch, like, Stargate, for instance, I don't wonder, like, why do they all speak perfect English? I don't wonder, it's like, how is SG-1 managing to save the day every single time and not one of them dies? You get more entertainment if you just shut off that part of the brain and just, like, go, okay, well,
Service
this is what it
guarantees
is.
citizenship.
And you focus on the other things that are the strengths.
The woman writing.
A lot of women write manga, and it's pretty fucking good.
Yep. Some women have a man's soul, what can I say? Okay, let's do a few
Wait.
Superchats.
Some women have a man's soul.
Yep.
Arch, you're getting on the pro-trans train at this
I've
point.
always been on the pro-trans train. Ever since I said that... what was I came up with? That we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Okay, fuck.
Mhm.
I know how to put this. I know how Hasbin Hotel can be compared. Compare it with Beetlejuice.
No.
Yes.
The new one, you mean?
No.
No.
Because there's a new one coming out.
Like, Beetlejuice didn't have, like, that extremely well made out world building. It didn't have, like, a really amazing plot. But the reason Beetlejuice was fucking cool is because you are watching it for the jokes. You're watching it for Beetlejuice's character. And that's what made it great.
No.
Yes.
Dracus Luther says,
yeah.
I have been vindicated. Sea of Stars sucks.
Fuck you, Dracus. We finished.
Trans rights are human rights.
So, Arch, we finished Sea of Stars last night on my stream, and it was a god-awful ending. The first half of that game's incredible. The second half just shits itself. I'd say that they ran out of money, but they had 1.6 million to work on it.
I told you, Dev.
So, like, V says, just shut your brain off. What is wrong with V? When I watch cartoons, like, I'm watching Bugs Bunny, and I see Bugs Bunny getting ran over by a truck, and he's like a pancake on the sidewalk, right? And then he just goes, pop, and he pops back up. Yeah, that's called shutting your brain off. When you're watching Popeye, and he eats the spinach, and he punches a hole in the space-time continuum. Yeah, that's shutting your brain off. Not everything needs to be logically consistent.
No, everything does.
You know what? Hold on.
Some
V has a point
is
here.
fine for what it is.
So V has a point here, right? Because the first Ghostbusters movie was just a self-contained thing. It is what it was, right? You didn't need every little detail explained. It was a fun little adventure comedy, right? And now, with all of these sequels, even disregarding the terrible 2016 one, the actual new sequels that everyone's calling good, they're trying to turn it into this ongoing story with this deep lore, and Ghostbusters were never that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, look, Arch, it's like watching Popeye the Sailor Man, and you're like, but like, why is spinach giving him superpower?
Oh, simple.
Why is he?
No, I can explain that.
There is no fucking way you can explain why spinach gives Popeye superpower. There is no fucking possible way that you can justify why spinach gives Popeye the Sailor Man. All right, why does spinach gives Popeye superpower? Actually,
okay, you ready?
Hit me.
Because the show says so.
Oh, okay, Arch.
There it is. Like,
that's
the thing. That's the entire. Yeah, it is. So the thing is, you don't need to explain it. When you enter into entertainment, you sign the suspension of disbelief. If the show tells you the proton pack's catch goes and you can't cross the streams, that's all I need. That's canon now.
Well, Arch. Then here's my rebuttal. The reason they had angel weapons is because the said they have.
The problem is they've already said angel weapons are ridiculously rare. That's the issue. They've contradicted themselves, and the only way to get angel weapons would be to kill angels, which they've never done before.
Hold on. For the population of Hell and Heaven, right? How many weapons did they get? They get like 3 or 4 crates. I mean, maybe that would be
Three
extremely
or,
rare.
3 or 4 crates of spears. That's hundreds of weapons. They must have killed or stolen from hundreds of angels.
For like trillions of souls. That's extremely rare.
Oh, trillions, God no. There's like a couple hundred fucking people in hell. It seems like.
No. I think like at one point they say the hell population is in the trillions.
Then why are there so few people? And why does heaven only attack with like 20 dudes?
I think they had like more than 20 dudes, but you can say that it's animation constraint. Not to mention, like, you don't know the damage they can actually do if they're fighting like regular. Because like they were fighting like the strongest people in hell, right? Like they were fighting Lucifer's daughter, they were fighting like the radio demon. So like for once they were actually fighting the strongest people in hell, not just like random demons that are like low souls.
Ben says, add Gabriel from Ultra Kill into this for the lulz.
But Arch, why does Pluto never eat the spinach?
Bird Flu Steve William has become a member. Thank you very much. Why you hating hell in the show is like the bad side of Detroit. Kind of, yes.
I'm actually Googling it. Does Pluto ever eat spinach?
Bird Flu Steve Williams, take you to a trip through hell. Freeze ya dome watch. Squish ma. Those were words. Anonymous Foul's been a member for 3 months. Progressives are incapable of writing good heroes or villains. They have no heroes who can empathize with people that are exactly like themselves. Partially correct, but interestingly, I'm actually working on a script now about how modern entertainment gives us villains that are better than heroes. Because there's a seam of things.
I think the radio demon is a villain that's better than a hero, but Adam is a piece of shit. I don't know why you like him.
Oh,
it's
Adam's
like, oh, he's
great.
the man.
Yeah.
Who does he defend, actually? You know, who does he risk himself for?
Well, we haven't seen anything specifically, but you can also look at the reaction of Lute when he dies. She's genuinely upset.
She's in love with him, right? She can be like Harley Quinn and he can be Joker. Like, that's fine.
There you go.
But we're talking about Adam. Like what exactly does he do? What does he do?
He has the courage of his principles.
What courage? He thinks he's invisible.
He isn't
like
invisible.
No one. Yeah, like if you're invisible, that's not courage.
He's killed by a knife.
Superman stopping bank robbers, that's not courageous.
Of course it is.
No.
If Superman could be killed by Superman could be killed by a knife, then stopping bank robbers is pretty fucking courageous.
Yeah, true. But Adam doesn't think he can be killed by a knife.
Of course, Adam thinks he can be killed by a knife. He knows he can be killed by a knife. You know why? Because they're the ones using the angel weapons. This isn't a mystery to them.
No, like he has done the exterminations for quite a while, and he knows that at no point any angel has ever died.
No, that was the first. That was the first plot point.
Yes,
he knows he can be killed.
Starts. Yeah,
not to mention he sees a few dozens of his dudes get killed in front of him. Yeah, he absolutely knows.
I do not think that Adam is courageous. I'm sorry, no.
Artemis Fowl says Adam did nothing wrong except lose. Correct. Artemis Fowl says demons that die in hell are reborn in hell and later rematerialize later. There's a penalty of slowly losing yourself till your soul is absorbed by hell itself. That's why all the eyes cover a lot of things in hell. Really? Is that canon? That's interesting.
I didn't know that. Then that doesn't really make sense with the exterminations.
No, but hey.
Like if you kill them and they get reborn, then what's the point in killing them?
Yep. God of the Strange.
I get. Well, actually, hold on. If they're like becoming things, if they're like becoming part of the concrete, then I guess they can't rebel. So then, yeah, that would make sense.
God of the Strange says you guys should watch Jesus and Judas short film as a comparison to Hasbin Hotel. I'll Google it. Well, maybe I'll check it out later. Bill Latvis been a member for 3 months. Where are all the dogs? That's another good point. There should be a lot of dogs in heaven.
There are dogs in hell, though. Like,
Psycho
that's the entire fandom.
I feel like the indie pilot was far more tighter and entertaining than the show. The lack of resources might have been better for the overall product. Yes. And we'll get to that in the other topic of the golden age of video games already over. The collapse has already happened. Because a limitation of resources produces a superior product 9 times out of 10. Ben says, Agent Jack, get off me fucking line, Septic Guy. Dark Lushug. Arch overpopulation was an excuse. Rebellion was possible but unlikely, and Adam was doing it for fun, and Sir Pentious' intent redeemed him, not Adam specifically. Also, Loot is best girl, and Adam rocked. Correct. And I do wonder, like, again, because the issue with the show's many plot holes is that we don't actually know what almost any of it means, because it could be turned around the next time. Because even that, like, okay, so now we know that there must be a standard to get into heaven, because so self-sacrifice, which wasn't on Adam's list, and apparently heaven doesn't know what the list even is, so...
Yeah, I genuinely think it's like souls just pop up, and they're like, okay, well, if it came here, you're on the list, then you're in. So it's like a higher force that heaven doesn't actually have access to.
Ducklish also says, we can all agree, I think, that if you get guitar solo out of a room, you effing lost. Take the L and leave. That's true, too. Raven's been a member for 1 month. Great news, Archie. Soon, Ep 3 of Andy and Layla will come back with branching paths from episode 2 ending. Ooh. I do need to... Okay, I've actually got an episode on that I need to wrap up now that all of these dumbass drama is probably done with. Let me actually see if I managed to remember doing that today. Let me write it down. Edit, Andy, and Lele thing. There you go. Zero says, you've never eaten anabolic spinach. No, but that would probably give you
Harrison's the
superpowers
question.
if you eat it long enough.
Fire is the answer.
So apparently there is an episode where Pluto did eat spinach. Like he stalks Popeye, finds out what makes him strong, so he then goes to a store and comes out with a bloated belly. And it doesn't give him power.
Well, he didn't believe you well enough then.
No, I think like Popeye is like an X-Man, and he gets a reaction when eating spinach.
MercenX21 says, Vizzypop, the creator of Hasbin, has daddy issues, as well as a hair trigger over Christianity, which he was born into. I think college was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, our generation has in many ways been defined by people who had a problem with Christianity growing up.
I don't think... Yeah, but you know why? Because Christianity was acting like the social justice activists.
Yep.
Unironically, you had like concerned citizen letters and shit. Like if someone said damn in a commercial, and they would go after everything that was fun. Literally, oh, rock music, it's fun. Oh, it's anti-Christian. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, is it fun? Oh, it's anti-Christian. Oh, video games are fun. Oh, it's anti-Christian. Literally any single thing that you can imagine, which was remotely fun, they would be against it. And there are people that I'm willing to bet right now in the chat, they're like, based. And it's like, yeah, it was so fucking based that you now have this entire generation of traumatized social justice wankers who are ruining your lives because of how based it was. So you know what? They're probably saying now, as you guys see you suffering, they're going like, based.
Citizenship.
So maybe you should have a little bit of empathy for others. And you
Nope.
should think to yourself, maybe going after everything that's fun is not the winning formula.
Exterminate your opposition.
So
I have lost.
that's just part of like the Protestant Puritanism that comes out of like some parts of American culture. There's a heavy streak in it of like, if you're doing something entertaining, you could be doing something
Service
productive.
guaranteed
So it's
citizenship.
not just a waste of time; it's sinful. Idle hands kind of thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, human nature requires entertainment. So,
Yeah.
the expectation that people, and even then, like, if you try to entice people to your movement, that all you have to do is to suffer and toil, and that's your life. Not a lot of people will want to be part of your movement, and a lot of people will find resentment and they will spite you.
Artemis Fowl says, in the Porn Studio episode with Valentino, the female fashion designer complains about Valentino killing one of her models and couldn't wait for her to reconstitute herself in time for the show. That's a good catch. I do think I remember something about that, which indeed makes the whole extermination thing kind of goddamn pointless. Rating Tedder, I've never seen Hasbin Hotel, but the premise is hell is just full of gays. It's hilarious. Oh yes, it is. Everyone in hell is LGBTQ.
Yeah, but they'll probably do it with heaven as well. Like, I'm willing to bet they'll have homosexuals in heaven. Sorry.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a woman's show, and none of this needs to have consistency. Mesnex21, the Jesus Buddha roommate anime is better than this. Maybe. And Fenry44, if a soul dies, it reforms itself, but the death and wounds remain permanently if done by angelic weapons. Ah, that makes more sense. Right. We have talked about V's preferred topic of Hasbin Hotel.
Oh, so also another thing that my chat told me about that I should probably share with you. It'll be a 5-minute topic. So you know when I died on Thursday, I have lost
Yes.
in D&D. I made a fatal mistake.
What was that?
Rather than trying to disengage, I should have used dodge.
Yeah,
We
you little
told
fucking.
you.
I
No, no, no. Hold on.
told
No, no.
you.
You said for me to use uncanny dodge, which I didn't have yet as a rogue,
No,
but
no, no, no.
regular dodge I had.
Dodge. I said you should use dodge.
I should have used dodge.
Yes. I don't know where the uncanny part comes from, but you should have used dodge.
To be
I
honest,
remember
there was
people saying using
nothing you could
uncanny.
have done besides talk your way out of that.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that
Like,
because hold on, hear me out, because he shot 20 arrows at me and 7 of them hit. With dodge, I might have not been hit that much. It would have been okay, I think, if I had dodged.
yeah, but
that's
then
my
then-
mistake. That's my mistake.
Yeah, but then
still.
what he did, I don't know if you watched, but after your initiative was over, he got them all to ready another action. So like when your turn would have come back again, if you made the move, they would have fired arrows at you again.
Yes, you would have had to dodge 2 rounds of arrows, and even then, I guarantee you this, because I know scenarios like this. Sargon would simply say, oh, you keep running, but you're still in range, and shooting at you again. And he's just going to keep
Yes.
doing that. There's no
Yes.
going off the map.
Yes.
Maybe, but I'd still do it. I still would have tried
Like
it if I had.
my plan was to cast darkness in order to
Yes.
try to get their leader and then negotiate so that we don't have to give them our cash. And if I couldn't do that, I would try to get the chariot,
I have
and
lost.
then like
Shit.
hightail it out of there. And because we had the chariot and they were on foot, I would have tried to escape, right? I never had to any point. I know that Rags' passive aggressive verbal diarrhea was like background music at that point. But
Fuck.
yes, but I never thought that we could actually take 30 of them. And to be honest, like for one session I let Rags do whatever the fuck he wants, and I find myself in an ambush. It's like, because the thing with Rags is like he never tries to find any other possible scenario. It's like, oh, go kill 30 bandits. At no point that he goes like, hold on, it's just 5 of us. Like, how are we supposed to kill 30 bandits? It's like, no, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go there. Come on.
Yeah,
he just
and to
talks
be
like
fair,
for 40
yeah.
minutes. Yeah,
Sargon
he
did
talks for
say-
40 minutes on end, repeating the same shit over and over again. And then it's like, oh, what do you guys want to do? We go.
He does talk a bit too much. Yes. He might say the same point 5 times. Yes.
I mean, he's passive aggressive. I'm active aggressive. We're making a good team.
2 women
No,
in a room.
the only real problem that I had with it is when he refused to roll initiative. That's actually getting in the way of the game. But I said that.
Yeah,
during
and
the stream.
I was constantly telling him, it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up and roll.
Yeah, like if you don't want to fight, that's fine. But you still have to roll
The
initiative
thing
because
is, like, I didn't like the scenario where you can't roll dice, right? Like, you're in a situation where it's like, no, you gotta talk, and they're going to mug you. Like, that's another thing that pissed me off. It's like, if it was just talking, that's fine. You want to show the boss, the big bad boss, that's okay. But if you want to mug the player and you think like the player is just going to take it, no.
But this is something you should complain to Sargon about, not me. I want to
did.
talk
I
about
did.
the cake that walks.
I did. Okay,
the
go
cake
on.
that walks. What's that?
Yes.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
the George R.R. Martin was disrespecting people again.
Because he wrote
Oh.
a blog post, and I love this entire blog post because it is just pure old man yells at sky. He blames everything in this. He blames politics. He blames war in fucking Ukraine, because that's affecting him. He blames the fucking weather. He blames entertainment and people being mean to television shows. It is literally old man. He's like, I can't work. Why? The weather.
I wanna point something out, right? Like he accuses the people that put food on the table, on his table, of being toxic. And I'm thinking like, okay, so you have individuals that partook in his show, invested time, invested money by purchasing the merchandise. There were people that named their daughter Daenerys. Right? That's how fanatical people were invested.
Heresy.
And at
Yeah.
no point did the
Fire.
Well, they hate
Martin
it now,
have,
by
like,
the
oh,
way.
Yeah, when that happens, when you have people naming Daenerys, you don't have Martin say, hey, hold on, guys, it's just a movie, right? Like, you shouldn't get that emotionally invested, like, dial it back. No, he does that shit. That shit, because it's more money for the man, right? It's more money for his belly. That's excellent, right? So when people get invested, and then the ending is shit, and you have Peter fucking Dinklage, you know, that was actually lifted on the shoulders of the fans. Like, much to imagine, chat. There is a person that struggled into America from Mexico, right? He went through the desert to get the American life, and he's working, scrubbing the toilets of a Democrat for minimum wage. And from his little money, his little pension, he buys a Game of Thrones product to feed Peter Dinklage, right? To lift Peter
Service
Dinklage
guarantees
on the
citizenship.
back-breaking shot. And Peter Dinklage looks at this guy with disgust and disrespect and goes, it's like, why do you care? It's just a show about dragons. Fuck your time. Fuck your money. Fuck your investment. And now I'm going to
Heresy's the
gaslight you.
question.
The reason
Fire
you don't
is
like
the
it is because
answer.
pretty white people didn't fly off into the sunset. Huh. Where is George R.R. Martin calling Peter Dinklage's toxicity? When was he stepping up and say, hey, Peter, that's disrespectful. You take that shit back. He didn't. He didn't do that. He doesn't call his people, right, like the ones that are invested in the production of the show and his work. He doesn't call them toxic. He doesn't shame them. He doesn't ridicule them. He ridicules you because he has disgust and disdain towards you.
Let me actually read some of this, because I find this to be beautiful. So, he begins off that 2023 was a nightmare of a year for the world and the nation and for me. Actually, the last 10 years should have been a nightmare for you.
I love when millionaires complain, you know, rather than crying in their bags of
Oh,
money.
he
like,
mentions that he's incredibly wealthy and has a huge platform later on. It's like, this was a terrible year for me. Yes. There's war everywhere. Ukraine and Gaza dominates the news, but there's war in Myanmar as well that our Western media just ignore. War in Yemen, war in the Red Sea, North Korea has nukes, Venezuela. Like, none of this affects you. None of this affects you. None of this so much as touches you.
How does this affect you personally?
This is literally this is the media. Oh, you notice this? Ukraine was on media. Ukraine. Because it sells clicks. It's clicks.
No,
That's
like,
what it is.
Honest,
It's fucking YouTube
to be honest,
content.
it's always something, right? Like, if it's not Ukraine, it's the pandemic. If it's not the pandemic, it's global warming.
Because
if it's not
that's what the
warming,
media
it's the stock
lives
market
off.
crash.
The media is the single most toxic version of YouTube. That's what it is.
Yes.
And
there is absolutely, like, there is no time in human history where there is not something going on that you can whine about.
yes, and
because the media is talking about
this causes weak brainlets like the cake that walks to be in a constant state of fear and anxiety. There's a conflict going on. Oh, Jesus, where is it? 10,000 miles in that direction. Oh, okay.
Like, if it was in Ukraine, I would understand.
Yes, I have sympathy.
I would even understand if he was in Poland.
There's a
I would
bomb
be like,
crater
okay,
in my
well,
house.
He's worried because,
Okay, fair
like,
enough.
yeah, he's the.
And meanwhile, the US grows more polarized every day. Hate is rising. Democracy under threat. Millions of Americans have swallowed the lie the 2020 election was stolen. It was, Dev. Shut up.
Nope.
Newspeak has taken over political discourse. Cancel culture destroying lives and careers. And now I'm beginning to get a little bit of whiplash here. So this is the beauty. He's swallowed full on the democracy is under threat thing, right? Hate is rising. US more polarized every day. It's not really that the US is all that more polarized. It's that the other half of the US is finally going, stop hitting me. I fucking punch you back now.
And it's not only that, like, he is a person that's a historian. Like, you should know that America is actually a constitutional republic. I mean, the founding fathers literally despised democracy because democracy happens in Europe and you get world wars in fucking Europe. They were, like, actively against the concept of democracy because they said if we allow democracy, you're going to have a couple of elites that will constantly vote each other while giving the middle finger to the rest of the people.
Yeah, and then he goes on about Newspeak is taking on political discourse. Bitch, democracy is under threat is fucking Newspeak. It is a Democrat slogan that means dick.
Yes.
And
this
cancel
like
culture.
It's like, oh, corruption. We need to vote against corruption. It's like, shut the fuck up.
And we have disgraced, indicted, venomous ex-president winning primaries despite openly declaring that he would be a dictator on day one. He did. That was a joke. And also cancel culture. This man, evil. Satan. Dictator. George.
No, like the thing that I hate the most is that... You remember when like you read Lord of the Rings and you have no idea what like ideology Tolkien has or like what he supports. Or... Yeah.
Well, it was clearly Catholic in inspiration, but I get what
Pretty
you're
sure,
saying.
but I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Like if Tolkien just appeared now in my room and he started telling me about his politics, I was, shut the fuck up, Tolkien. Tell me about the Middle Earth, you know?
Yeah. And absolutely, and he goes on, openly declare that he will be a dictator on day one and will govern on a platform of retribution. See, that's the real problem, isn't it? Because you know what? Good.
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 No, like
Hey,
hold on.
hold
Let me
on,
ask
hold
you a
on.
question.
No, let me jump in here because I haven't spoken for a bit, if you don't mind. So I actually appreciate that take that you two just had, where you just
Service
said good,
guaranteed
because at least you're like
citizenship.
saying it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no pussyfooting around of like, no,
No.
guys, he didn't actually mean it.
No,
Trump didn't mean it.
want
Do
them,
no,
listen,
no.
I
You want him to be a dictator?
everything
Good.
that was
You
done
want him to
during
be.
the pandemic.
You want him to be the
everything,
God
right?
Emperor. It's cool.
I want you, Dev, if you ever sit your fat ass down at a McDonald's, to show QR code because Trump demands it. I want when
No.
you walk out of the house
Fuck
to your
that.
business to
Hold
have
on.
a fucking QR code. I don't care if you consent or not, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're going to protest. It's not you're going to do anything. You're going to sit down and fucking take it, right? You're
No,
going to.
no,
Yes,
I
yes,
didn't. I
you
didn't
are.
during
You are
COVID,
like
V.
when
I didn't. I
when
didn't
Trudeau
during
went
COVID, V.
and Trudeau fucked with the truckers. You still haven't made the video, and you know why? Because you're a little bitch, and you're going
Nope,
to do what the man
it's
tells
solely
you.
because
And
I'm
I
lazy.
want to be the
It
one
is
that
solely
elects the
because I'm
fucking
lazy,
man,
V.
Dev. I want that fucking man into office, and I want him to loom over you, and I want you to be. It's like, well, I don't consent, and I'll be like, good, just sit there without consenting for 4 years.
So, here's the thing, okay? I have not made the trucker video out of laziness, and that's it. That's the only reason why, okay? And it's very easy. It's not much of a straw man. You guys all know that I'm lazy. I'm kind of a lazy guy. That's it. I'm not afraid of what might be in the trucker video.
My point
Yeah,
was
no,
the
your
following.
point. No, your
listen.
point. No, I already listened to you. Your point is that
What is
you
my
think I would just sit there and take it and scan the QR code. I
You know
didn't
why I
during
think that? Yeah,
Trudeau.
but why
I
do
didn't
think
during Trudeau, V.
that?
I
Why
did not.
do I think that?
I
Dev?
did
Why
not do it, V, and I wouldn't do it this time.
Well, it wasn't done properly. I'm pretty sure like Trump will do fascism better than the Democrats. Listen, the reason that I think you would do it is
Yeah.
because when the truckers were protesting, you sat your fat ass home. And this is why I think that
Yes, I
if
did.
fascismus ever comes to Canada, you will still sit your fat ass home. I actually went to protest, Dev. I did protest during the pandemic. I did a virtue signal about it like a twat, but I did go into the cold and I did protest. And when the government said, "Oh, I want everyone to stay home, stay safe this Easter," I went outside and I went dangerous into that fucking church with other people. As a fucking atheist, I went and I faced the fucking danger, Dev, because I do not like fascismus. I hate fascismus. But if fascismus is going to be pushed upon me, then I will.
When
push
I
it
went
onto
out,
other
hold
people.
on. V, when I went out into the city here, I was asked to put my mask on, and I said no, and I didn't put it on, and I still went into the
Oh
store,
my
and
God,
no one
the
did anything
rebel.
about
Oh,
it.
you did not put it on there.
No,
Let
no,
me
no,
guess.
no, V, you just said you did the same fucking thing. You went to the church. It's the
That is
same
like
shit,
the bare
V.
fucking minimum, Dev. Like not putting the mask on was like the
So
bare
wait,
fucking minimum.
so wait. You did the bare fucking minimum? Because I mean, I didn't get
No,
vaccinated.
I did
I
the
didn't show. I didn't
medium,
show a
Dev.
vax pass. I didn't do any of that shit, V. What are you
I did-
pushing off on me here?
You did not go to protest with the truckers, Dev.
Yes, I didn't. And you want to know why? Because
It
it's
was
6
cold.
hours away and I'm
Oh,
fucking
there we
poor.
go. It was
I
6
had
hours.
V, I had no fucking car back then. I had
But
no
I
money.
will say this. If fascismus ever comes, I know that you will go to protest because it's 6 fucking hours.
V, I had no car. I had no money. I had no way to get there. I couldn't get a hotel. I was way poorer back in 2021 than I am now.
Judging you. I'm just assessing the situation that if fascismus comes, you will not do anything because it's 6 hours away. Which is why I don't care if you consent or not to Trump, because I know you will not stop him.
If it comes and I can afford to go to a protest, I'll go. I couldn't back then. It's as simple as that.
Oh, I see. So basically, what he needs to do
things
is to
cost money, V. It's just hand it out for fucking free.
No, that's a good point. You know what? I will support if Trump wants to seize the bank accounts of political dissidents first. Like he needs to do that because reality shows that if they don't have money, they're not going to go to the protest. So that's the first thing that Trump needs to do: control the finances.
Okay. Let me break in here, in between you two virtue signaling.
Mhm.
And also, I'm gonna put this on here. All right. Well, good. The good part, right? I need to justify this. I wish to elaborate on this. Okay.
I have
because
laws.
I am of
I
the
didn't even get to
position.
my point yet, but go ahead.
I am
Go
of the
ahead.
opinion that we'd require the day of the long knives, not the night. Nothing subtle about this. The day of the long knives. Okay. Because this is the only thing that works. This is the only thing that has had any appreciable effect on the progressive left, to hit them over the head and not stop until they go, this was a bad idea. That is the only thing that has demonstrated any efficiency. And
I agree with that. Yeah.
there will be terrible shit. There will be tyranny to a degree, in that there will be people who will be fired. There will be efforts on entertainment. There will be like, no progressivism. We can't even have a gay character. And a lot of this will probably go too far, in my opinion. But it is a necessity. And I even recognize the fact that the progressives will no doubt then argue that, oh, but this was how we had it. Like, we just lashed out after being oppressed by the conservatives, right? Fair. But now you've done it to me, and you've done it worse. Now, we take revenge.
I need accountability, Arch.
Exactly. Well, now it's revenge time. And once we're done with that, once both parties have experienced what it is like being on the losing side, maybe then we can finally look at each other and go, wow, this was a terrible fucking idea. Could we not? Could we agree to just not? And then we'll arrive at the center again, which we will occupy for about 5 years until some motherfucker forgets all about this and goes, but what if I did it?
I want to be like Pain from Naruto, going to the village and casting the Edo Tensei, just destroying the entire fucking village so they can experience the pain.
The deeper the terror, the longer the period of centrism. This is my worldview now.
So here's the thing, right? When I was you sent this to me, Arch, this Dark Days blog post of his. When I was reading, I have a lot to say about George R. R. Martin, but regarding this specific part, where he said, democracy is under threat. Millions of Americans have swallowed the lie that the 2020 election was stolen. Okay, I know you two believe that the 2020 election was stolen, and I know that you know that I don't believe that. I think it was a fair election. Okay, let's put that conversation, that disagreement aside just for a second. We don't got to rehash that again, even though I'm correct. Okay, here's the actual conversation.
If you're correct, Dev, why do you have to
I was about to thank you for not rising to the bait there,
that is
Vee.
correct has to reinforce to himself that he is correct. Like, why are you trying to gaslight yourself? You know what?
I'm not. I'm trolling you, Vee. I wanted this reaction. No, I wanted you to spurg.
When a Canadian doesn't speak, it's because he's gaslighting himself. That's what you're doing. It's like when you're like, even though I know I'm correct. You're like, you have to gaslight yourself in order to believe in the delusion. But go on.
So, okay. Okay. So, listen. All right.
Is that just sniffing the copium now? It's
nope. I'm thinking about how I want to word this because I mean, you guys
the copium
just give me a second, Vee, for fuck's. Okay. So both of you have said that, like, I think it was actually this segment. In fact, was it you, Arch, who said that, like, journalists are some of the worst fucking people?
Was it this segment? I mean, I agree in theory, yes.
Okay, that journalists are some of the worst people, and it's all like clickbait, and there's almost never any fucking like real, like, there's always a spin on the news, right? And by the way, this applies to both every single mainstream news outlet, but also every single alternative media outlet as well.
It does,
right?
It does.
Like if you think you're getting the pure unfiltered news from like Louder with Crowder, you're not. He has his own spin, right? Everyone.
But at least Louder with Crowder doesn't go to your house to dox you, Dev.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
I don't like CNN either. I mean, I agree with you. But if we're talking about news accuracy, though, everyone puts a spin on it, right? And so generally you have to go through a bunch of different sources and figure out what's true.
When they're telling you there's not going to be an inflation, and then it is, you know, or they constantly gives you bad advice. Or
yes.
I lied to you.
Okay, so Vee. So here. All right. I was linked a clip from from one of my viewers who still watches some other people and it was our old friend Scrump on the clip, and he says that he wants to go back through all of my old videos to pull out all of my old formerly based takes to show how much Dev has changed and how he's gone back on his principles. And I'm like, you should do that actually. Go ahead and make the how much has Dev changed compilation.
I would rather just go and see how many broke predictions you've got.
So, well, here's the thing, though. I'll give you a prediction that I gave in 2017. You can go back and find this on my channel. It's still up. I made a 2017 video about the Trump piss dossier and how ridiculous the piss dossier was and how every single fucking Democrat who had like an online presence was screaming about the piss dossier, putting out the most retarded, insane tweets, posts, giving speeches about it. Every journalist was latching on to this article after article after article about the piss dossier, and it was all bullshit.
We lived it.
It was all bullshit. It was, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the video, I said, "Listen, Trump one day will do something that's actually really bad, and it will be so bad that he will no longer be fit to hold office, and because you leftists in the media have now cried wolf so much." The right wing is not going to believe you when it happens. So
that's not the reason.
But that's what happened, V. That's what fucking happened. That's what happened. No, shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking Romanian mouth, V. That is 100% what happened with the 2020 election. They cried wolf for 4 years, and now that the actual real thing has happened, none of you fucking believe it. You've all lost it, V.
Okay, then you can interrupt me, right?
Hey, go ahead.
That is not the reason. It's not the piss dossier. No one fucking cares about the piss dossier. What I care about is that people that I know, they weren't allowed to go to work, Dev. They were told to stay home and stay safe. No, shut up. I'll explain. Right?
Okay,
I'll let you speak. Right?
Yep.
They were told to stay home and stay safe. They were asked for documents, for papers, if they wanted to leave the house in order to take out the garbage. There were people that had to sell their fucking house because they couldn't afford it anymore. And meanwhile, across the street from the restaurant that was shut down, there was a restaurant open, and you had like people from Hollywood shooting a film there, right? You had like people that were told that they're not essential anymore. And the other ones that were essential were the comedians that were laughing at you from the fucking television, Dev. And on top of that, the government, despite the fact that everyone was saying maybe you shouldn't print money, maybe they were printing money anyway. And then the eviction moratorium came. And the eviction moratorium said that, hey, if you're renting your house, tough shit, you can't ask money anymore. But if the bank forecloses on your house, you gotta give it. And then when people started striking, you had the fucking government telling the banks that they can seize their accounts, right? When that happens, that is why I don't fucking give a shit if Trump comes on and brings full fascismus down on everyone's throats. Because at this point, nothing that he can do, Dev, absolutely nothing is worse than what was already done. It's not the piss dossier. No one fucking cares about the piss dossier.
No. You misunderstand what I was saying. You misunderstand what I was saying.
I will summarize your positions for you women, because both of you are actually right here. Yes, Dev is 100% right. They have screamed wolf for 4 years, and thus, when the wolf finally arrives, nobody is going to believe them. Okay? Dev is correct on this. Simultaneously, V's point of view is also entirely correct, in that a big part of the reason why people are looking at the wolf and going, is because they hope it eats the fucking child.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Nothing that you said, V, I disagree with. You're right on all those counts, yeah.
No, but like my point was that I understand what you're saying, right? But that's not the reason why people are like, we don't care about Trump and what he did and the lawsuits and that. It's not the dossier. It's what happened under COVID that people are so pissed off, right? You can't have the same individuals that are like, oh, we're so concerned about fascism bad, right? Stay home, stay safe. By the way, go out and protest, BLM. You know, all the riots. All of that shit that happened, it went to the point where the puppet guy, I forgot his name, he was a skeptic, right, that Mr. Medicare had beef with. The puppet guy was pointing out that one of his relatives gave birth. He couldn't go see the child, Dev. He couldn't go see the child, but you know how he could have seen the child? If they met at the BLM protest. So if his relative would have brought the child to a BLM protest, then he could see the newborn. But if he was to actually go and visit the house of the newborn, he would be in violation of curfew. It was like that mental retardation. And when you see politicians like Nancy Pelosi do her hair when everyone else couldn't, when you see like Beetlejuice from Chicago come out and be like, of course I did my hair. I'm an important person. I have to do my hair. Right? When you see the disdain and the disgust that they have for the average people, yeah, I definitely don't care what Trump is going to do. And you know what? My life and my living standards were better under Trump, and there were less international conflicts under Trump. There was no war in Ukraine. And I remember that the New York Times posted, it's like, oh my God, Trump told Putin that if he ever invades Ukraine, he's going to bomb Moscow. Oh my God, he's a madman. Good. Like when a madman was in the fucking office, when you had those mean tweets that he has a red button and it actually fucking works, no one did shit. No one did shit. So I want that fucking madman in the White House rather than a sleepy guy.
So, concerning all the COVID stuff, yeah, I completely agree with you. It was ridiculous how they acted during the lockdowns, obviously. And the fact that they locked down so hard for so long after the vaccine was developed, which was ridiculous, by the way. Like, the minute the vaccine came out and everyone could get it, that should have been the end of the lockdowns. But it wasn't. They went on for like 2 more fucking years, right? It was ridiculous. I agree with you, V. Yeah.
So why should I reward them
and
vote for
on
them
general agreement, I'll tell you both to stop talking about the election again. I want to go a stream where you just don't bring this up. That will be funny. We'll see. It's kind of impossible.
Well, hold on. George R. R. Martin brought it up.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Arch.
He goes
sorry,
on.
Martin brought it up.
It's to say, I am famous and I am wealthy. Like, thank you, George. I hated you already. And supposedly, I have a big platform. Whatever that is, but I have grown more and more cynical about the supposed power that people keep telling me I have. Has anything I've ever written have ever changed a single mind, single vote? I see no evidence of that. The era of rational discourse seems to have ended. I hate this man. Can you imagine? Like, okay, you write fiction, and here you are like, why haven't I changed your vote? Why haven't I changed your mind on the climate? Why don't I see an evidence of my power?
My favorite part is that a lot of people were talking about how Daenerys was begging to be let into the city, and that's like, the refugees. And I'm like, have you seen what happens after she gets into the city? She literally murders the man that let her in.
Yes.
Why are you using Daenerys as an example for a refugee? I don't get it.
Well, that's the issue. Like, I'm sure Martin has a very particular worldview. And I'm sure it's a very normie sheep worldview, honestly, as he uses Democrat talking points vis-a-vis our talking points. Like, this man does not have a whole lot of political acumen between his fucking layers.
No, the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure that Martin understands humanity really good, but he's using Democrat talking points in order to get clout.
I don't think he understands politics. I think he might understand
There's no
humans.
fucking way you can write Game of Thrones without understanding. Dude, like look at, again, the example that I gave, right? Do you remember when Daenerys was, like, through the desert and she was about to die? And she gets to, like, the gates of a city and she's begging entry? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this guy coming out, this merchant, and he vouches for her. Right? He lets her into the city. She murders that guy, Arch. And steals all his shit.
Yep. And that's history.
Martin understands.
That's history. It's not necessarily politics.
No, but, like, he understands humanity. Like, he understands why walls are built. He understands what refugees do. He understands.
He doesn't understand. He knows. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom.
I think it's disingenuous, honestly. I think he gets it, but I think he uses the talking points to get clout.
See, I naively think that relatively few people are actively disingenuous. Like, there are some.
So
but I think
so
very
I think
few
Martin is
people
one
are
of them.
naturally disingenuous.
No, I think he's a business person. I think he understands that he needs to get clout and popularity, and if he says these things, it's... I mean, look at him pussyfooting when feminism comes along, right? And it's like, oh, why do you have rape in your... And it's like, all of a sudden, he's respectful to this ideology instead of telling them to fuck off.
Well, yeah, because,
like
the sheep recognizes the wolf, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this case, he understands that if he says what the wolf wants him to say, he's going to get clout.
It's the same, like, if you meet just a complete normie in the streets and you accuse them of sexism, they'll be like, what? No. Because they understand
No,
the
but
wolf
like
is
if you
breathing
come to
down their neck.
Romania and you're accusing a writer of like, why do you have rape in your book? It would be like, well, because I'm trying to write a historical accurate literature and like rape happened in history, so there we go.
Perhaps in Romania, but on average, if you send a writer, like, hello, I'm writing you from Vanity Fair. I'm doing a
Service
piece on
guarantees
sexism
citizenship.
and rape in books, and your name came up.
Yeah, no,
They're
like,
gonna get it. Very
unironically, if you
defensive.
do it to a Romanian, they would be like, well, that's weird. I'm just writing fiction, and my fiction is inspired from
Service
history. Like, here are the
guarantees
history
citizenship.
books that I've used as inspiration.
That does sound very defensive.
I don't care. Like most people would look at it and would be like, well, I mean, yeah, he is writing like a history piece. It's like, you can even frame it. It's like the reason that I'm writing is to show how bad the world used to be and how far we came since then, right? Like, I don't see how that can be taken uncharitably. And if it is taken uncharitably, then nothing you would say would matter at that point anyway.
This is this idea that, okay, what is George Martin writing here? Game of Thrones. What is Game of Thrones? It's a fucking fantasy show with goddamn dragons and ice demons. And here he is like, why haven't I changed people's votes? Bitch. Could we just return to the time when people wrote stories for stories? Like you said, could we not return? The man loves to fucking bring up Tolkien, and he really wants to be Tolkien. But you know what Tolkien did? Tolkien just wrote a story. That's what Tolkien did.
I'm actually trying to think if there was a writer that changed votes, and I think like I don't know, maybe Captain Planet.
There's been plenty, like Orwell.
C.S. Lewis for sure.
Yeah, Orwell, Heinlein. There's been plenty.
Oh yeah, Orwell did change votes. Yeah.
There definitely has, but like he's not writing a political piece. Like Games of Thrones is fantasy politics with fantasy politic bullshit in it. And yeah, it's relatively intact fantasy politic bullshit, but it has very little connection to the real world beyond, as you say, the human element, which is fairly well done. But we really need to return to the time when people could just make a thing, and it didn't need to have any wider context. Like, one of the big issues with the current year is that we can look at shit like Dark Souls now, and you will have people making arguments that Dark Souls is about fucking capitalism or something. Like, no.
Did you actually see that? I never.
I have seen that, yes.
Jesus Christ.
So this kind of reminds me. Oh, fuck! I can't find. You know what? I probably can't find the tweet because I think I'm blocked by the guy. But basically, there was one game journo who came out and said Jeff Keighley hasn't used his platform as host of the Game Awards to talk about the plight of the Palestinians and what's going on in the Middle East right now. And it's like, why should he have to? He's putting on a Game Awards show.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? Is not the fact that the guy is asking the question, but the problem is that everyone on the internet is not asking the guy. It's like, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Well,
Like,
to be fair, everyone did. He
on
got
Twitter.
Everyone did. They all jumped under him and
Good,
ratioed him.
Good.
But like, they
But
still
you know
asked,
what?
and they don't care.
You know what? You think enough people ratioed him, but it wasn't
Yeah.
enough.
It wasn't enough.
These people need to be mocked, ridiculed, and laughed off the internet.
Yes, and
Like-
we are
like
in
when
the
you
process
say-
of doing so.
Yes.
The
Yes.
fact that 5 years ago these people controlled the discourse, and now these people are getting ratioed, that kind of shows that
Because
things
this
are
is the
changing.
thing, like this is what gatekeeping is, right? Like gatekeeping doesn't mean that you can prevent someone from watching the Oscars or whatever. No, gatekeeping is like when someone says that they're watching the Oscars, they get mocked and ridiculed by normal society. They literally get laughed off of. It's like, oh, you like the Oscars? Well, I don't care about anything else you have to say, because everything else you have to say is going to be stupid, isn't it? I mean, you watch the fucking Oscars, you get brain damage from that shit.
That's
Actually,
true.
here I found it. I found it, Arch.
Well,
if
you
you wanna
condemn
pull up-
people
actually,
for
no.
these things.
I found my reply to him because he blocked me, but my reply is pretty funny. I said everything's political. The Game Awards has a responsibility to use its platform to push the correct message. Therefore, I hope they come out in unequivocal support of Israel.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
then he blocked me, and then a bunch of leftists got mad at me. But it was a funny reply. But yeah, if you see what I'm replying to, Arch, you'll see that this guy tried to get Jeff Keighley to, divert a section of the Game Awards away from what it's supposed to be about and talking about some political topic, which is just completely inappropriate.
And not to mention, it's like a very divisive topic as well. I mean,
Yeah.
there's Burger King and Pizza Hut and McDonald's. They're getting boycotted because of their takes over this shit. And
Starbucks,
it's
yeah,
like,
Starbucks.
yeah, and it's like, why the fuck does Starbucks have a take regarding Israel and Palestine? I mean, they should just shut the fuck up and sell coffee.
They should.
Yep.
Makes absolutely no sense.
This
I think
is
there was actually a
where-
connection. Hold on.
This is where the big problem comes in, okay? Because George R. R. Martin also talks about how toxicity, the entertainment is getting more toxic and divisive, right? Which spins off beautifully into stuff like this. So I'm sure you've seen The Witcher remake. The dev pledges to remove the parts that are bad or outdated, that make it for a modern audience, you know?
Yeah, they're going to remove the sex cards.
Yeah, they've already announced
Probably,
that.
yeah.
They have already
Oh,
announced
okay.
that they're removing the sex cards.
Hold on, before we move on, just real quick, Arch. V, to clarify, the reason that all of these fast food chains, especially Starbucks, they're all getting boycotted by leftists right now, is because they all have locations in Israel, but not in like Palestinian areas.
I don't think that's the case.
It is.
I mean,
It
no.
is.
I looked it up. I made a video about it. It's because they had the campaign where they gave free food to Israeli soldiers, and they were like, "We support Israel and stuff." Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like, okay, they have like in Israel, but not in Palestine, but that's not enough to give them the boycott. Like the boycott was given to them by Muslim nations. And apparently it's significant enough that it's affecting a percentage of their sales.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And again, like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't support Israel or you shouldn't have like your own politics. But when you make a spectacle out of it as a company that's selling ice cream or you're selling burgers or whatever, well, you're opening yourself up for the people who disagree with you to not give you their money. Like, you're not entitled to people's money, right? So if you want to be political, I mean, there is no politics that is 100%, right? Like, no one votes for one party 100%.
Heresy is the
Most of the
question.
politics,
Fire
even
is the
when
answer.
someone wins by a landslide, it's still like 50 or 60%. So you're basically going to alienate at least 40% of your customers. At least. For no reason whatsoever.
There's also just the practical reality that Israel is a stable, prosperous nation, and what the Palestinian areas are not. So if you have a McDonald's, it's probably going to get blown up if it's in Palestine. That's just kind of how it is.
There is no obligation for a company to make something anywhere. It's like that's like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. Okay, so I'm making like a video gaming company. Do I need to open branches in Singapore? No.
Well, actually, here's the funny thing, right? So we all know that like in certain areas of certain cities, crime is like very high, right? Because they're all like shoplifting in like corner stores or in like these various mid-level stores, right? And it's gotten to the point that these stores are now closing down, right? Well, now you're starting to see there's a new wave of activism that has been coming up in the past month or so. It's probably going to blow up over the next year of how companies pulling out and not providing an equal coverage of service is now going to be the next social justice push. Like, this is racist because you won't serve us the same way you won't serve the next.
They can't do fucking shit about it, right?
Yep.
Because the thing is, like, when you complain that Chick-fil-A is donating money to some activist organization, right? Like that is an actual pressure that you can put, right? Because like then Chick-fil-A, all they have to do is to stop donating. But you're complaining that they're not providing you service. Like, you're already not their customers.
Quite literally, if all you're doing is
are you
stealing
going to
from
do
them,
more? Yeah, like with Chick-fil-A, it's like, okay, well, we have this in Portland, and no one from Portland buys from us, but like we want their business. So like we gotta stop donating to the Salvation Army or whatever if we want to get their business. But they're already telling you that they don't want you as their customers. Like, they're already closed up shop. So what are you going to do?
Yep.
Not buy from them? Like
there's a paradox. I forget exactly what it's called, but basically, if you have to like punish an opposing group, the more you punish them, the less effective your further punishments will be because you've already expended your previous punishments. If that makes sense, it's like a game theory thing, where like Here's a great example, right? When the West decided to punish Russia for invading Ukraine, that was probably a good thing. It was probably the moral thing to do. But now that the West has done that, what levers of power can the West pull over Russia right now, except going to
Military
war?
invasion.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, except
But
going
the
to war.
thing
Like,
is,
are there
no,
more? Are
it's
there more sanctions we
it's
can do? Are there
yeah,
more
but
things?
it's
But
not
like,
even
we've
like
not done a
that.
lot of them.
Like we're yeah, but like we're not talking about because in this case it's ambiguous, right? Like they didn't punish Target.
Mhm.
What we're talking about is like when they make a movie which is like an anti-white movie, right? Like the Society of the Magical Negro, for example, right? Where they're basically like saying the most dangerous animal on earth is the white man.
Mhm.
If white people don't go watch it, you know, they can call you a racist because you don't want to watch this movie. Or better example, Ariel, right? They will say, oh, you're a racist because you don't want to go and see Black Ariel. What are they going to do about it, right? They can't get you fired because you don't want to watch a movie, right? If you're just like boycotting it and you're not talking about it on social media, just choose not to watch it, there is jack shit that they can do. And it's the same situation here. It's like if they close down shop from a neighborhood
Heresy's
because
the
the crime
question.
is high.
Fire is the
I mean,
answer.
they can cry, they can complain, they can say that the company is racist, but you can't really prove it. Like you can't. I mean, the company can just say, "Well, we don't have money right now. You know, we can't expand," or we decided that it's more economically feasible to expand to this other neighborhood. They literally
I mean,
have
it's
absolutely no way to get the companies to back down.
yeah. So this is like the soft power versus hard power conversation, right? So it's like, well, let's say you have a store that's in a location that's serving a population, and then the population that uses that store says, "Hey, we think you should change XYZ, and if you don't, we're going to boycott you," right? And it's like, well, maybe the company will because
Service
they don't want to lose
guarantees
sales.
citizenship.
However, if the store isn't even in that location because they've pulled out because they're being looted all the time, then as soon as the population says, "Hey, change XYZ," I mean the soft power's gone, right? They don't have
Yeah,
any more leverage
yeah,
over them.
yeah.
So
And the thing
I,
is,
I, I
you know,
think I think hold on, just real quick. This will be the next push from the left in 2024 is shaming you for your purchases and shaming companies for not servicing certain communities. But I think it will fail because shaming cannot overpower the practical reality of
yeah, but
balancing
like
your budget.
you can't shame people
Well,
because it's all the stores,
no,
right?
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
like Target pulling away from that. It's all the stores.
This
So
is
like, what are you
relevant
going?
to the actual point. Oh, shit.
But the thing is,
No,
it
bad V. Bad. Go to bed.
go on.
See, okay, because what George Martin mentioned 50 years ago about toxicity, this is actually true, and it is a result of entertainment becoming worse, of services becoming worse. And Dev is correct. There will be a push to try and shame things for being more inclusive, because we are going to see a wave of less inclusive stuff in the next 3 to 4 years. The Witcher is probably going to be one of the last great failures of this, in my opinion, because there are no money anymore. Like, I'm sure because the video game collapse has already happened. I'm sure you guys have seen the live service games. Let me send you a link here.
Yeah, did you notice the
95% of
$100
studios
games?
are
Do you
working on our
notice that-
end-release live service game.
Do you notice that they're doing this all the time now? It's like if you pay $100, you can pay the game
Yeah.
1 week early. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
Yep.
that's always been a thing, but live service games, because right now all of the companies are desperate to try and find some ways to milk you more, because expenses are out of control and the quality of their products have decreased. Like, the reason why gaming became such an enormous market is because it blew up in the early 2000s when gaming was fucking amazeballs, and it began gaining a lot of cultural relevance until we hit the world of today where it's become a popular thing. But
Well, there's something else happening here too, though, Arch. There's another effect that's going on. V, you and I talked about this, and I know we talked about it in private. I think I was right. Sorry, V. I think you're wrong about this one. But when the COVID lockdown started, there was a few
my God,
industries
what
that
the
actually
COVID?
did very, very well, right? One of them was game developers, because everyone's stuck at home, everyone's buying video games. Console developers did very well. That's why there was a shortage for like 2 years on the PS5 and on the new Xbox. People making graphics cards, they were flying off the shelves. New PCs, there was a massive shortage on all entertainment electronics because for like a year, everyone was just sitting inside, right? And like massive Steam sales, companies making tons of money. And so in like 2020, 2021, people start these game developers start like hiring tons of new staff. They're all working from home. They're making big projects, right? Well, now the COVID bump in that industry is over. Everyone's gone back to work. No one's sitting at home all day playing video games anymore. And now you see all these game companies laying off everyone.
That's
There's
not why they're
massive
laying
cuts.
off, Dev.
It is part of the reason why. No, it is absolutely part of the reason why, is because now the money's not there anymore.
No, the
People
reason is
aren't
that if they
buying the
would have
games they
made
were in
video games, no,
2020.
listen, if they would have made video games during the pandemic that actually sold, right? The problem is they made games like Forspoken, they made games like Gollum, they made games that actually didn't start on fucking launch.
Yes.
It's not that like these companies were hiring more people. No, it's the fact that the product that they were making was more expensive and more shit. Like Diablo 4, right? Do you think that if during the pandemic, Diablo 4 would have been great and it would have been like Path of Exile, do you think that they would have fired anyone now?
No, and you're both correct. I've linked a YouTube video in the description that you can look at it in your own time. I'll play it in the background here, and it's absolutely a point. There was a bump, absolutely. But if people had produced games like they used to, that bump would have been translated into more permanency. But the simple fact is, games have gotten so much worse, not just in storytelling or wokeness, but in sheer technical quality. You can look at a game that is 9 years old, Arkham City, and the qualitative difference to the Suicide Squad is fucking astounding. On every level, the lighting work, the textures, the character models, sexy characters, obviously, the shine on everything, the presentation, the gameplay.
Every single game, Arch, every single game that came out during that time cost less to make, is better objectively. I mean, maybe the graphics may be a little bit better in some of the modern games because of technology has advanced, but in the case of Suicide Squad, that doesn't even count. Like, no, like you're right. Arkham had better graphics, like more details, more everything. If you play it on high, on max, it looks better.
It looks amazing.
Better story, better gameplay, and it was cheaper. Not just to make, but it was cheaper as a price. Like, I mean, you paid like what, $60 for it, right? Arkham costs $100 to make. Probably costed $100 million or whatever. Complete bloat. And by the way, the people that got hired, Dev, a lot of them were hired based on nepotism because of diversity shit. They weren't hired because they were needed. It's like Elon Musk says, it's like 5 people supervising every single person coding.
Yeah.
So if during the pandemic,
there's definitely that too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're hiring a lot of fat, then don't complain when your business doesn't produce a better product.
I completely agree with you, right? Like, I don't know if you guys saw, this was in tech, not in video games, but the same thing happened with tech because everyone was at home using tech, right? But there was all those high-profile layoffs on TikTok, right, where people are like recording their layoff conversations with their boss, and they're like, "Look how terrible this is! I'm being laid off." And it's like, yeah, but you were hired during the pandemic boom. You're probably the newest employee. You're probably the shittiest employee. You're the one who's on the chopping block first. Now that the market's contracting, this is how it would go, right? There's nothing bad here. It's just the way the world is. But also though, like, I don't completely view it the same way that you do, because yeah, there were some really shitty video games in 2023, but there were some really good ones too. Like there were some good games in okay, sure. Like I really like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That was a great game.
Doesn't matter. It's a Nintendo game. It's irrelevant. Throw it right out the window. It's a completely different market by a completely different developer with a completely different ideology.
But they're still good, and they're still video games. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game.
Was in development for like 10 years. It's practically
but it's still a good game. It's still a good game.
Yeah, but it's also
the Nintendo isn't firing people, Dev. You're just making my point.
Yeah, that's true. Larian isn't firing people either.
Yeah. No, this is what I mean, though. Yeah, no.
Like my point is that if they made good games, they wouldn't be firing people, even if they hired during COVID, right? Larian is
maybe not. Maybe not. It depends. It really depends. Like, did they hire too many? And even though the game was good, then they have to fire them anyway. Like,
there's my point. Okay, debunk.
Okay, what's your point? Okay,
go ahead. My point is, if they made good games, they wouldn't fire people. You just gave me 2 examples of companies that didn't fire people.
Yes, I agree with that part of it.
Larian isn't firing people, Dev. They made good games.
Okay, fine. Here's a good game, and they all got fired. Hi-Fi Rush.
Fuck is that?
It's some tiny retarded indie game that nobody cares about. Except my chat.
It was an indie. It was an indie. It was made by Shinji Mikami. Look, okay, anyway, listen.
I don't care who that is. He's Japanese.
Oh, okay. The Resident Evil 4. Here, okay, here. How about this? Capcom is currently going through a shit show with how terrible they are, and yet the Resident Evil 4 remake was a good game.
Mhm.
No.
Yes.
How much did it sell?
Let me look it up. Hold on.
And how much did it cost to make?
Resident Evil 4 remake.
And of course,
Sales. Let's
there
see.
are going to be exceptions to the rule, but
Hold on.
as an overall
Okay.
industry, we have had over
I got it.
10,000 firings in January alone. It's
Resident
showing
Evil 4
no sign of
remake
slowing.
sold 6.4 million
not only that,
copies.
Dev,
It's
you're
the
willing
fastest
to tell
selling
me-
Resident Evil title so far.
Dev, you're willing to tell me that all of these companies, they do not have any sort of business plan. They do not have any marketing team. They do not have anyone that would tell them, hey, like, this is not sustainable. Like this whole thing with COVID, it's not going to last. So, like, eventually, when people go back out, there's going to be an economic issue. You're telling me that these companies are just, like, random blokes that make
Yes,
decisions
actually, I'm telling
willy-nilly?
you that. Yes. And
Yeah,
here's
but
why
you're
I'm telling
wrong,
you that.
because I
Nope.
do know how the
I'll tell you
corporate
exactly why.
environment works.
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly why. All right. These companies, they are staffed by retards. In fact, you agree with me on this because they're all like HR managers, they're all middle managers, they're all people who work
Yeah,
off
but it's a
ideology
different
and
type
not
of
off competency.
retardation, Dev.
It's still retardation, V.
No, but I
Okay,
do
hold on.
operate a gaming company. It's not the way you're saying.
Okay, hold on. This isn't a this isn't a gaming studio, but the same idea applies. All right. Do you remember back when the lockdowns first began? You had Boeing, all right, the airplane guys. They were like begging the U.S. government, dude, no one's traveling anymore. We're making zero money. The entire company is going to collapse. You need to give us money here. And it's like, well, hold on. Like, didn't you guys plan for this? You knew lockdowns were coming because this happened like in the second half of 2020.
Yeah, but like,
Did you guys not set something up?
A complete shutdown of business is not something
but
you can plan around.
no, but here's the thing. If they were stupid enough to realize there's rough times coming, we should do something rather than drive our business into the ground and ask the government for help. If they couldn't realize that, it makes complete sense that you had retards
They
in
did
tech.
realize it.
Just let me
Okay.
finish a sentence, V.
Yeah, but it
Okay,
makes no
yeah, let
fucking
me
sense.
finish a sentence,
Let's
V.
finish it
Let me
faster.
finish the sentence. Okay,
God.
V. Listen, it makes complete sense that you would have retards in tech and retards in game development who saw that they had like a really good year and then maybe like a really good second year, and they're like, dude, we're going forever now. And it turns out they weren't. And now they're all
Arch,
eating
you
it.
have a company,
That makes complete
right?
sense.
Like you make drones, yeah, Arch?
The thing is, Dev does have a point here. In that, remember during COVID, all of these people were constantly harping on about how terrible COVID was and how it was hurting their business.
Yeah,
Games Workshop did this too.
Drop the PR shit, Arch. Like,
No, they actually
PR
believed
shit.
this. Games Workshop released in their official company statements, their investor reports, they are legally forbidden to lie in these. These people genuinely bought into the media narrative that COVID was going to fucking wipe our asses out and shut down the entire economy, etc. And so they saw themselves doing good. Their little pea-sized brains didn't connect the dots and go, oh, it's because people are inside.
Yes.
No, that's
It's
not
because
my question, Arch.
these people are stupid. Yes.
You have a company,
people are
right,
stupid.
Arch?
Do
Do you not have like a 5-year business plan on them?
God, no.
Like during the pandemic, like, you didn't know that when the lockdowns are going to be lifted, that the economy will change?
My 5-year business plan is, hey, everyone's inside. I better start producing more videos.
Right. But like you did expect that once the pandemic lifts, like, your videos are going to have less ad revenue, right?
I mean, my particular markets were not super affected by this. But
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm Nostradamus. Maybe I foresee shit that billion-dollar corporations just can't see it. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of idiots in billion-dollar corporations for sure.
Yeah, but like, you can't
well-
you can't say the entire market is made out of idiots, Dev. And fine, if you want to say it, that's your decision.
Well, hold on. Half of the human population is below average intelligence, V.
This doesn't require you to
Wow,
have more than
all
average
women,
intelligence to
Dev.
know
That's
that
pretty
some
mean
places
to
things will go back
generalize
to
like
normal.
that.
So
Anyway,
here.
I need to bounce.
Well, hold on, V.
No,
Before you
I'm
bounce,
not holding on.
just give me 2 minutes,
All
okay?
right.
Listen, V, because you are actually also correct, right? What? He just left. God damn it.
It's because you never
He
stop,
vanished.
Dev. Both
Me,
of you
I never
stop.
stop.
Yeah, you never stop. It's terrible. And the point I'm making here is the video game collapse has already happened. It's already done. It's already over. We used to live in a golden age. We unironically did a golden age of technology, a golden age of peace, a golden age of actual social progress. It's over now. All we have in front of us are large, stretching mires of muck. And there will be a golden shore.
Me for a while, yeah.
Yeah, there will be a golden shore at the end, maybe, if we don't all burn in nuclear war. But we are in for
So
some
here's the
dark
thing.
days, Dev.
For for the sake of truth, V's analysis is also correct, right? That a lot of these companies are making shit games, and now the market is finally punishing them, and they're downsizing. That's also true. However, it's not just that. It also is a COVID bump that we're currently going over. And people are getting laid off for that reason too. Both of these effects can be true at once. I wanted to give V the benefit of the doubt and to give him his due, but he sometimes screams over my attempts to do so.
You're both women, as far as I'm concerned. I've realized this recently. I'm surrounded by women in male form. Rag's a woman. You're a woman. Sargon can be a woman.
Shit.
I don't know
V.
how.
Yes.
I don't know how I got here, honestly.
How was talking to Counterpoints? Is he womanly or no?
I want to try and find a way to get out of here.
Heresy's the question.
Oh,
Fire
too
is the
bad.
answer.
Females. Counterpoints is definitely still a little bit too far to the left. We do need to teach him several lessons about.
I'm
believing.
very surprised because he definitely views himself as a conservative. Maybe only like the American context he's a
Heresy's
conservative.
the
You know,
question.
I
Fire
know
is the
European
answer.
conservatism is more right wing for
Listen,
sure.
My definition of left wing now, I have adopted the left wing view on virtually everything. Okay, my definition of a left winger is anyone who doesn't believe that all left wingers needs to go into the meat grinder.
Okay, people in the chat saying, Dev, we were both yelling, guys. Come on. Also, everyone says Kibbs. You forgot about Kibbs, Arch. Kibbs is the most
He's
womanly.
a woman too. That's true.
Yeah, he's the most womanly one of them all.
I got a fucking message from Ant the other day who was like, Kibbs is being mean to me on Twitter. I'm like, women. And this literally.
What's funny is like someone sent me Ant's Instagram where she like posts like IRL pictures. And I was like, Ant, how is it possible that you're a fucking edgelord, but you're also doing like the cute uwu girl thing? I don't believe something's wrong here, Ant. I don't believe this.
Oh, Ant is trans, don't you know?
Yeah, that's what I told her to.
Yeah.
That the only thing is that she has to be trans.
Yeah, no,
That's
unironically, Ant has like, her cock is so large, it slaps off her knees as she walks, okay?
Yeah, that sounds
we
about
all know this. This is not surprising or controversial in the slightest.
right. Someone ask Dev about the Josh Moon lawsuit. He won't say anything about it because he troon chaser and null called out on it. I mean, I don't want Josh Moon to get sued, obviously. I don't like Kiwi Farms, but it shouldn't be taken down. And I don't know why you think I hide it that I like trannies, guys. It's pretty open and out there.
You were supposed to keep speaking. I was writing a message.
Are you writing a message to Ant?
No.
No. To Kibbs?
No.
To V?
No.
Oh. Who's it going to? Is it to me?
No. A gender-confused Brazilian, I'm pretty sure. There we go.
There's a lot of those.
Yes. Yes, there are. I don't know why. Let me read a few of the soup chest to you. Obadulio, Beetlejuice was good. Hasbin Hotel is Tumblr cringe. Kind of is, yes. Also, Dev. Halo Season 2.
Service
Is it
guaranteed
happening?
citizenship.
Yes.
Okay.
Weren't you interested in that? You were. You were talking about it. Dev, don't pretend.
I'm vaguely interested in it, yeah.
Halo Season 2, Dev. You're going to have to watch it.
Huh.
All of it.
Guys, no, Naomi isn't trans. She's cis. She's not trans.
You vol potato.
Because guess what? I also like the natural homegrown women too. not just the biologically manufactured ones.
Evil Potato says Dev really should be watching Hasbin Hotel since it's a very female show. It'll be great for his transition. Speaking of, how is your HRT coming along, Dev? Still denying the reality that it's happening?
I am way too unattractive to pass as a girl, sorry.
But you're still hoping the estrogen treatment will fix that, I'm sure.
Actually, you know what I looked into? So you know how Sargon did the whole twink death thing, right? He did that twink death video on Lotus Eaters and there's also the joke that like my twink died in D&D.
Yeah.
There are actually gay men who take estrogen, not because they're trans, but because they want to stave off twink death. So they still look, young and beautiful and twinky into their 30s and 40s. And apparently it works.
Is that your goal?
No.
You sure?
Sorry. Yep. I'm not a twink.
Evolved Potato says Trump didn't say he'd be a dictator, Dev. He said he'd be a dictator day one. That's it. He'd do the executive orders out of the wazoo on day one, but after that, he said he wouldn't do it to that extent. Yeah, I know. It was a joke, essentially. He was making a ha-ha laugh, but Dev goes, are you serious? Don't you, Dev? I know you do. I know you do, Dev.
The only serious thing that I take is when he said on Truth Social he wanted to suspend the Constitution. I was like, well, that's too much for me, dog.
Constitution has already been suspended a few times.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Not good.
I define the actions of my side as good, Dev. Checkmate.
I know. I know.
What are you going to do about it?
This is like the leftists who tell me that we shouldn't make deals with the other side because that would just be making a good thing, making a deal with a bad thing. Good things are good, Dev. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
See, Dev hasn't learned like I have.
No, I have. It's the Carl Schmitt thing, but the point is that just leads to endless war, where as soon as they have the power, they will oppress you, and as soon as you have the power, you will oppress them. The point is we want to stop it on both sides.
Dev, you can't win a war without fighting it first.
I agree.
Huh?
But also, you can't fight it forever.
You know how we stop the wars, Dev?
Heresy's the question.
By winning them.
Fire is
Absolute,
the answer.
unassailable hegemony.
Yes. But if you don't have that hegemony, then they're just going to come at you when the pendulum swings back around.
Don't worry,
That's the
Dev.
point.
I intend to employ the full French terror. There will be no one to swing it back. See, Dev thinks I'm lazy and let's just make it do half the job. No, Dev. No. Where were we? Zonta says Trump told the Senate GOP to keep the border crisis going until the election. It's over. He's just another swamp rat. Did he? I haven't heard of that. Did he, Dev?
Yeah, I can show you. Hold on, I can show you that if you want.
Go on.
Give me a second. I'll grab it. Where is it? Where is it? Fuck. It was a New York Post article today.
A New York Post article today. I see.
Yeah. Here, I'll find it. Just give me a second.
Trustworthy. Raining Tedder says, Purple Woman, I think Rags will butter you along with Archley. Perhaps. So Lich, Dodge Build Dev breaks the boundaries of reality and seeps into the RPG session. You should have dodged. I told you.
I should have dodged, yes. I legitimately thought either I heard or you meant uncanny dodge, which is like a later rogue skill. Okay, I found the same story on the Rolling Stone here, Arch. I'll put it in the link channel.
The Rolling Stones. Good.
Yeah. Trump wants to kill the border deal so stupid Republicans don't help Biden. I have lost shit.
Wants to kill the border deal from President in curbing illegal immigration, also finds that it helps him politically. I mean, yeah, just like the Democrats are only interested in doing anything with border immigration so long as it helps them politically.
Oh, sure. So, like, there's when I looked into this last, it was like Biden reversed course as just as a matter of policy. He undid pretty much everything he could that Trump set into place,
Heresy's the
and then
question.
after he undid it
Fire is
all,
the answer.
he looked some of it over and then reinstated it later. Right. So, for example, one of the last things Trump did was he signed it was some sort of executive order bringing down the price of insulin. And Biden reversed that, which is ridiculous because he then put it back into place a little bit down the road, right? Which is just like, well, what the fuck? Like, Biden seemed to have this blanket policy of just undo all Trumpisms, and then whatever Trumpisms happen to be good, we'll just quietly bring those back. And it turns out he actually quietly bring back a lot. He brought back a lot of them, it turns out, over the course of his presidency. So it's like, I mean, maybe you should have thought a bit more about this before you did it.
I also
however,
want to point out his point here is, unless we get everything we need, I'm not going to do the deal. And anyone who cites a partial thing, because this is probably a compromise deal, is stupid. I don't think this is the he wants to keep the border thing going until the election. I think this is him going, this isn't good enough.
It's probably both, I think.
It's probably a bit of political strategizing again, which, you know what, Dev? Hate the game, not the player.
Yeah. So, there's the New York Post article about Biden reverting many Trump policies back into place. So there's like border wall stuff there's a lot of border stuff that Biden was against, but then so he dismantled it, and then it turned out that those policies were so popular, the Democrats are now like, shit, dude, if we want to actually win, we got to put those back. So, I mean, on the one hand, that does mean that
Service
democracy
guarantees
is
citizenship.
functioning because the people in power are responding to the whims of the citizens. So, but there's basically a lot of these things that Trump put in place, Biden's now bringing back. And so, because they're popular, even though it's stuff that the Republicans want to do, there's definitely this, and there has been for a while. There's been this obstructionist streak in the Republicans for a while now. It was there back during Obama as well, where they're just like, even though we want this policy implemented, we don't want to give the president, who is a Democrat, credit for putting this policy into place. So we're just going to drag our feet on it, and we're not going to do it, so that maybe we'll win the next election, and then maybe our guy can do it instead.
You mean the political parties are playing politics?
Yes, they are.
Well, this is a shocker, Dev.
I mean, it's not that I'm surprised, it's that I don't like it. And I don't like it when either side does it.
Dev. Samuel527 asks, you guys gonna cover the Suicide game? God, no. Dev likes shitty games. Dev played Saints Row. Dev?
Actually, we could talk about it a little bit if you want.
No.
Did you hear? Hold on, let me pull this up here real quick. I'm pulling it up. Okay, so you know how the whole point of the Suicide Squad game is that they are killing the Justice League, right? And by the way, this is the same continuity as the Arkham games. So when Batman dies in the Suicide Squad, that's the end of the Batman you've been playing in the Arkham Asylum games this entire time. So that's the end of his story. But yeah, someone played through the entire game and posted it on 4chan. I'm just gonna spoil it for you guys because I know none of us are playing this game. So the Flash gets killed, and then one of the Suicide Squad members take a leak on him. They just piss on him, right, while making fun of him. Okay. The Green Lantern is killed and stripped down and like just left around naked. Batman is mocked and then shot in the head, and then he like just kind of like slumps over a bench while Harley Quinn makes fun of him. So basically, they do their best to denigrate all of the male members of the Justice League when they kill them.
With the exception of Wonder Woman. Yep.
With the exception of Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman dies a tragic death trying to fight Superman. But then she loses the fight against Superman in a way that isn't her fault. And then all the Suicide Squad members start weeping over her corpse. So that you can tell exactly what kind of fucking agenda they have when they're making that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked. I kind of want to just
Heresy's the question.
make a video, like
Fire
play it
is
and make
the
a video
answer.
about it, because apparently the gameplay itself is actually just garbage too. But like the story is fucking abysmal.
You're allowed to, Dev. You can play as many shit video games as you want. Just keep them away from me.
Artemis, listen. Artemis, I know that you're there. So Suicide Squad is an online game. Arch and I can play it together if you toss us some money.
Artemis, you know better. Mr. Luckless says GRRM, Martin, I'm presuming, was going to end his novels exactly in the same way the show ended, but decided against it when absolutely no one liked it. At this point, he's desperate to finish the books, now desperate to not finish the books after that. Probably, yeah. I know it's a conspiracy theory, but I am 98% sure that that was more or less the intended ending, and he was simply just shocked by the fact that
Heresy's
nobody
the
fucking
question.
liked it, and he's
Fire
now
is the answer.
scrambling to find some way to do it differently. Which is why he
I'm
shouldn't
not
have
sure if you-
sued OpenAI for finishing his book. The cake that walked should have sat on a dick and allowed people to have their book written by a robot instead of a cake.
So here's the thing. I remember hearing this, that basically at some point this is very soon after Game of Thrones ended. George R.R. Martin was like, he outright said, "Yeah, I don't want to finish the book anymore because you guys fucking hated it so much." And it's like, well, why is the ending that bad? The entire ending is very clearly setting up like Daenerys to be the ultimate villain and Jon Snow to be the king. Why is it that Jon Snow walks away at the end and Bran is the king? Like, what? That comes out of fucking nowhere, and it makes no sense.
George R.R. Martin is a bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. And deserves much punishment for what he is. Scarf the Strange says, Dover Hattie had the best interpretation of the Song of Ice and Fire lore. I'll take your word for it. Rain Tanner, Purple Woman, 2 years isn't laziness. That's true. Mark the Shame.
Yeah, what?
My reply to those defending the Soviets at Mental Omega. Yes, the side that started the war nuked everyone in their way because they didn't know they were under the sway of a mind-controlled bald man is the good guys. Sure. Maranga 2. Another horse heresy plotline. Why did Vaggie not know that angelic weapons could hurt angels if they took her eye out with one? Thank you, Maranga 2. You make the... See, this is the sign of a truly dreadfully inconsistent plotline. Because again, people don't do this to Star Wars. That has a ton of plot inconsistencies. The old Star Wars, right? But nobody did this to that. Or if they did, it was almost like petty. But with shows like these, which break its own rules, you keep finding the inconsistencies, and it scratches away at your little brain. And then you start noticing more and more of them. Like, that's a good one. Vaggie should have known that, because Vaggie has an angelic weapon. Vaggie could have tested this. Vaggie had her fucking eye torn out by it. Oh. Marksman of 117B. V, your plan was solid, but you misunderstood initiative. Because of ready action, all you were deciding was who got shot first. Wait for Dev to use his dodge, then you could have acted whilst reloading. Potentially, yes, but the issue is also... I'm not going to fucking start whinging about this because I'm not going to stop if I do. But this is not how fucking surprise works in this game. Like, when I go like, hey, there's a dude here. He's obviously evil. Can I hit him? He goes, no, roll for initiative. But why? He's not prepared. No, he's totally prepared. He doesn't have his weapon out. Oh, he's prepared. Okay, fuck, fine. And next up, there's a guy. Hey, look, this is my ambush. There's dudes over there. There's dudes over there. I'm pointing them out. They're making themselves known. Okay, I see all of your enemies. All right, roll for initiative, I guess. No, they've ambushed you. This is not how surprise work. This is not how ambushes works. This is not how any of these fucking things work.
So here's the thing, right? Like, if we roll up and then they all pull up, they all jump out of the bushes and they have their bows ready. Like, I can conceivably be like, okay, they got the drop on us. They get a free round. So they all fire their arrows, and then we start playing in terms of initiative order. I'm actually okay with that.
Only if they
reasonable.
had done it immediately. If you hadn't revealed them, if they had shot us immediately, I would agree, but they didn't. He revealed them. And at that point, the entire point of initiative of surprise is that you are surprised. It's an instant thing. The moment I see dudes around me, and they're pointed out to me, I have the opportunity to ready myself, to raise my shield, to prepare myself. I am ready. It's no longer surprise. Like, surprise must be an instantaneous thing.
I mean, I guess But I mean, the fact that they used their free surprise turn to ready an action does seem like they would be able to then shoot you if you decided to raise your shield, you know?
I don't think so. Like, first and foremost, that's not how the rules work. And secondly, even in a scenario where like this, they would need to be mind readers. Like how all of them shot V and only V, for example. And I want to point out too.
Yeah, that made no sense. Because he didn't do anything. He simply rolled initiative and then he got shot. Like,
Yes.
it's like, why V? He didn't even move.
He rolled initiative, and then he talked about what he was going to do, and then they shot him. And all shot him. Without any hesitation, etc. If anything, they should be surprised. Honestly, surprise should have been inverted in this case. It 100% should. Because they're confident, they've got you covered, they've got you outnumbered, no way in hell anyone's going to resist. And magic as well takes seconds. Like, I think it's a 3-second turn to cast.
I think it's 6 seconds. But
Oh,
yeah.
6 seconds, yeah.
Pretty-
But it's very short. And you can make an argument if it has, like, verbal elements. Like, if they hear him chanting it, they might leap to the realization that he's casting a spell or something. But that entire situation was literally Rockfall's kills player, in my opinion, and I do loathe those.
See, my only mistake was not using dodge. Yes, it was my mistake. I did the big fuck up. I didn't know I could do it, but I genuinely think that I could have gotten away because dodge and then 60-foot sprint. Yeah, I can keep running. I can keep dodging. If Sargon's like, you can't just run off the map. Well, okay, I'll run, and then next turn they can all shoot at me again. All right, and maybe I'll dodge again, and then maybe I'll get away because eventually I'll get out of the range of their shots. So, like, I definitely had a chance to leave, and I would have done it.
I don't think so. I think, literally, there was no way you could leave that. He would just have killed you. It was Rockfall's kills player.
So it was one of those instances where, like, yeah, even though you actually won all those rolls, Dev, I'm still just going to kill you anyway. That would be bullshit. That would be bullshit.
I think we were already there. Not to mention as well, I want to point out too, a little bit of a thing here, because Saga was very like, no, there's no way you beat them. They're probably really high level. They're fucking peasants, Dev. Like, you remember when we killed the peasants at the occult gathering? Well, I cast one spell and they almost all died because they had like 1d8 hit points.
Yep.
These fuckers are probably higher level than us, and that is one of the things I do loathe about D&D, right? Because the power levels are supposed to be really high. Like, a level 3 adventurer is actually a fairly tough motherfucker. No peasant is a level 3 peasant. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
No random bandit who has been raiding for like a month or so is a level 3 ranger. And not to mention, they managed to hit V with what, like 5 arrows? 5 out of 20. That's a, 1 in 4 hit chance against his armor class at the time of, was it 19? Bullshit.
Yeah, 19 with the shield, yeah.
Bullshit. Not to mention, we should also, by the way, we should have had half cover. I was too fucking angry to point it out, but we are in the chariot, which covers half our bodies with like the side things. We should have cover too.
Yep.
That was why I just shut up and let Rags do all the talking, because I knew I would just continue to bitch about that. Because
I like Rags as a person, but he does drag out the session. Let's talk about everything 5 times over, and just like, let's go, man. Let's go on the road. Let's go on the road. Come on.
I can summarize almost the entire campaign in Rag spends 2 hours finding a reason to justify the action Arch said we should take at the beginning of the encounter.
Yeah, that's why, like, so we had the option to go to, was it Shabury and get robbed on the way, or go to that city that was north of Shabury. We had the option to go down one of those 2 paths. And Sargon did explicitly say, well, they're robbing people on the road to Shabury.
Yeah.
And I thought that means we're going to the north city, right? And going to Shabury second. Like, that's the plan here, right? And but Rags was like, well, Shabury is within walking distance in 1 day, so you might as well go there first and not waste time. And I was just like, if I fucking say something, it's going to turn into a half-hour conversation, so I don't care. Even though it was obviously the wrong place to go.
You should have it, because I honestly wasn't paying attention at that point. I was not, because we'd been talking about dumb stuff, and I'd kind of zoned out at that point because I was like, yep, the queen is obviously evil. The bandits are obviously here. There's obviously taxation or something, blah, blah, blah. I'd zoned out because I knew the story at that point.
Yeah. No, we had to go north.
Yes,
but
you
because
should
it
have
was...
piped up because then I might have piped up too and gone like, oh, right.
Yeah, the story was sending us north, but because going east was in one day and something would apparently happen sooner, Reg's like, let's go this way. I was like, this is a dumb idea, but... Actually, I have a question. How come you guys all decided to revive me anyway? You could just let me die.
I argued vehemently for letting you die.
Because I mean, like, I don't mind. It's that's how the game is played, right? Like, I can roll a new character.
Yeah.
I can ask Ritualist for a new art.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I could play like a ranger or a barbarian or something, depending what we need. I don't really know. Well, whatever. But I guess I'm coming back.
Uslis says V. Good give big hook against Dev, but I like Dev and V as equal, but Arch even more. Thank you. I am better than both of them. It is true. Marksman 170B. Thoughts on Bulkley Dunk on Omar, based president? Am I supposed to know what this means?
I have no idea. Actually, is this the last section? Are you finishing up soon, Arch, or what's the scoop?
I am beginning to finish up, yes.
Okay.
Bulkley
I should probably go shake Dave and get my stream ready then.
No, you shouldn't.
It's probably time.
You should sit here and wait. And
how many more? Well, I have to at least have the timer up before you raid me. How many more super chats are there?
Not that many. It's fine.
Well, no. Okay, I have to go do it now. Then I'll be back.
Judev. Outrage Dear. V, the boomer investors don't care about the industry. They only care about the green line going up. The CEOs only care about the investors being happy. The marketing team only tells the director what they want to hear. And dev teams only care about quotas. Pretty much. Pretty fucking much. Scarf the Strange says, humanity is just a resource for politics. Yes. Which is why we need to turn the politicians into a resource for us. Eat the politicians. Alquis Vertasus, saying the 2020 election was the most secure in American history, it looks like nobody forced you to take the jab. Yes. Also, as a side thing here, we need to return to the age where the politicians feared the people. That is what we have lost. The political class should be scared fucking shitless of peasant farmers bursting into their homes with pitchforks. That is where we need to return to, okay? A politician should not be a desirable job. All right, it should not be a desirable job. It should be something you do because you have an interest in it, because you have a wish to improve the world or society, or that you have a particular political position that you are passionate for. Those should be your reasons to become a politician. Not because it's a cushy job, not because it's a safe job, not because it's a job that's going to make you rich like too many fucking politicians. It should be genuinely as close to an altruistic act as we can reasonably make it. And there should always be the threat of pitchforks. Anthony Norwood. Shocker, Starbucks, a company that supports very lefty ideas, aren't in a place that would get them killed for those ideas. That's a good point, too. We don't want to get thrown off buildings.
Yeah, you're not going to see any sort of, Saudi Arabian company start talking about gay rights. It's not going to happen.
Halsey says everyone involved in the Halo show should be skinned and then crucified. And then rubbed in salt, I'm sure. Also, Dev, if we torture them and then Minecraft everyone on the left, there will be no one left to retaliate. They would do the same and liberals would let them. He's not wrong. Marksman 117p. The streamers ran on belief. The boom was forever. They did, yes. V America no longer uses long-term business plan, correct? And Arch is right. Spider-Man 2 cost $300 million to make and sold 5 million copies. Even if they kept 50 of the $70 profit, still didn't break even. Costs too high. Exactly. And the costs are too high despite not having qualitatively improved the product noticeworthy. They were making... Company of Heroes 1. Groundbreaking graphics for a real-time strategy game. It was made with fucking pictures and buttons, okay? by a team of random-ass Canadians, half of which were probably cucks even back then, right? Adversity breeds innovation. We need adversity. We need to either create it by, I don't know, installing random electro goads in their nutsack, that's one option, or we need to make... I swear to God, the ready-made engine dev, the ready-made fucking engines were the death of the gaming industry. The moment companies could just be like, hey, here's my credit card number, give me a ready-made game engine with assets, that was what fucking killed us. Because now nobody's innovating anymore.
To be fair, Pal World used an Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, Pal World is
Pal
not the
World's
more
making a fucking
creative.
kill.
It's not a particularly creative video game dev.
Well, no. But see, here's the thing: you don't like being creative is good, but you don't have to be creative. You can make something that is very derivative, but as long as it's just good, it can still shine. You know, creativity is one path to success, but it's not the only one. The issue is that they're not making good games.
It can still shine in a market where there isn't any other good games.
Yeah, and then like you look at for example, Hogwarts Legacy, right? That wasn't a very good game in the end, and it wasn't even a very creative game in the end, but it was something that people wanted.
Yes,
right?
because I would argue it was actually a good game in that it knew exactly what its target audience was. It was just supposed to be a fan wank for Harry Potter, and that's what it was.
Yeah, and so if you had like people who were like hyper into Harry Potter, they were probably loving it. It was like, this is amazing. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Atonement says Kibbs is a woman too. This is scientifically correct. Rain Tenor, counterpoints could be your disciple, Purple Woman. Oh God, let's not.
Wait, hold on. Am I Purple Woman now instead of Red Woman?
Yes. I think it's because it's a combination of red and blue. So red for communism, blue for Democrats. It's kind of clever, actually. I like it. Evolved Potato. No, Trump didn't. He told them to not support the bill that would make it so millions of illegals would be welcomed into the US and given them more rights than citizens and had so much other shit in the billions for Ukraine. She didn't like billions for Ukraine. No bill.
That isn't what the bill says. You fucking. Okay, so here's what actually happened, right? The Democrats and the Republicans came to this deal, and they've been working on it for months. And the idea is, okay, listen, the Republicans will give more aid to Ukraine. The Democrats will give more money to go towards funding the border patrol. So, and then some other concessions as well. And like that was the deal. And you cut a deal. So like, yeah, you don't get everything you want in the deal. That's the point of a fucking deal. Is it like you can't just make it so that you get everything and your opponents get nothing because they won't take that deal. A deal is when you compromise. A deal is when you compromise. So they worked on this deal for months. They came to the deal, but now that frankly that Biden's poll numbers are dropping, and that immigration is becoming a very hot button issue for the 2024 election. Now, in the 11th hour, the Republicans are like, do we really want to fix this problem and let Biden take the credit for it? That's what's happening here.
I repeat my previous point. I have read my Gramsci now, and I agree. Absolute cultural hegemony.
So Xanthonium says, why do you need to have those two things together? Because that is what cutting a deal is. I give you some X, you give me some Y. That's what a deal is, man.
Yeah, alternatively, it could be, you give me this.
You could say that, but the issue is that neither side actually has hegemony in that way. They can just demand it. Like no one has, more than 60 senators in the Senate. No one has like a 2/3 majority in the House. There is no way to simply demand things like that. You do have to cut a deal.
Again. Dev will understand one day.
You must win the hegemony first before you can make that argument, Arch.
Boog says Naomi's PP is still bigger than Dev's. It might be. We don't know. Warturkify, I think another problem the game industry has is poor management. Big flops like Anthem had terrible leadership, basically chicken without a head. Yes, there is definitely that too. So Jard, have you seen Major Cuck accusing West the Pussy stealing his 40k content?
I don't know what this is, sorry.
But if they are, then go ahead. The Major Kill and Westhammer, I think. Both of them make what I would happily describe as low-effort meme content. Because I am an elitist in this regard. I make fucking hour-longs. I make 100-hour-long lore series on fucking conflicts. Other motherfuckers make like 1-minute shorts, okay? I am superior. I declare myself to be superior, alright? I take the moral high ground here. And so if these people who make basically the same type of content in basically the same sphere look at each other and go, hey, you're making what I did, I call that a content creator problem. But hey, that's just me. Arc5 says, I live on US border. Last chat is full of it. I can see it. Real Wholesaler, I thought Trump didn't accomplish anything there. Ooh. Foul. Oh, go on.
Well, what did Trump actually accomplish? I mean, the First Step Act was pretty good, right? He did get part of the wall built. I mean, Operation Warp Speed to develop the vaccine, that was pretty good. I can't think of much else though. I don't know.
Artemis Fowl. Well, he didn't establish the cultural hegemony, and by that standard, he failed.
all right. Oh, I know, like, everyone keeps saying, no, there was no new wars, dude. Listen, if you go and look up Trump drone strikes...
That doesn't matter. Shut your fucking pie hole.
No, I'm saying it. Listen, until Trump turned
Here's the
around
question.
and decided to
Fire is the
stop
answer.
reporting on the government's drone strikes because the numbers made him look bad, he had launched more drone strikes in 1 year than Obama did in his entire time in office. So... fuck, no, this idea that he was somehow this
Service
peace-loving
guarantees
dove
citizenship.
just wasn't true.
Oh, no. Okay. I'll argue. I will argue against this point. So, whilst endangering myself of sounding like a broken record, good. But, see, a drone strike is not a war.
More drone strikes, sure. Okay, I mean, it's fair
absolutely.
enough, yeah.
If we've got the targets, fucking Cheeto Yito. Now, don't Ito Cheeto the Americans. That's one thing. There is a deciding differential point there. That's one of the big things with Obama. I'm not opposed to Obama doing drone strikes. God, no. If you know there's a terrorist leader over there, and you have the opportunity to shove a hellfire up his ass, go on. Go on, my dear. Publicize it. We should make it a sport. We should televise it. We should have, like, the drone feed cameras, like... This should be everywhere, okay? This should be practically an Olympic sport. The drone teams should have newspaper articles like, today, Team Alpha got another kill in Afghanistan. That's where I want to be, okay?
So here's the thing. I agree with you, right? I actually agree with you. Like, if you can go over and just drone strike Soleimani, it's like, fine. He's a piece of shit. Fine, right? But the issue is that there is this talking point of Trump being more peaceful. And here's the thing. Right-wingers, they do actually hate Obama's drone strikes, which does make it hypocritical when they don't hate Trump's. Someone in the chat asked for the source on this. Here, just pull this up real quick, Arch. Yeah. Under Donald Trump, drone strikes far exceed Obama's numbers. This is something that is very well
Fire
documented.
is the answer.
So, like, you can have the position of, actually, drone striking your enemies is good. And you know what? I probably agree with you on that. But if you have the position of Trump did less than Obama, you're just wrong. Or if you have the position of, I didn't like it when Obama did it, well, but you support Trump, then yeah, you're also just wrong there too, right? If your position is drone strikes good, then yeah, okay.
Let's see. Hold on a second, Dev. I'm just gonna demonetize my stream real quick here.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm just gonna put that up there.
America. Oh, and by the way, listen, all you guys who are saying, like, Trump's drone strike increases, that's good. You know what that is? That is Americans policing the world, baby. So I don't want to hear from any of you rightoids saying, we shouldn't be the world police. Oh, we still have PTSD from going into Iraq. No, America being the world hegemon is good. You should be the world police. You guys should be the one who marches around the entire globe and covers it in a giant American flag just wrapped around a huge pulsating orange penis. That's what America should be. But you know what that means? That also means that, yeah, you gotta defend Ukraine. So, they come together as a package deal, guys. That's how it is. America, fuck yeah.
There we go. Peace through superior firepower, Dev. Trump was a dove and an angel, and we should all thank him for it. Right, where was I? Oh, yes, I was supposed to bring up the Don't Strikey one. Never mind. Actually, I should play this song again, too, but that's fine. Artemis Fowl, $20. Thank you very much, Pokimus. Dev wants to give the Biden more power to fix a problem that it caused in the first place by giving him more money, an executive authority he doesn't need, because as president, he can unilaterally reject any and all foreigners.
I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's true. But here's the thing. Yes, Biden does actually need more money. And it's the same reason that Trump's First Step Act ultimately failed. That's the point, though, right? Is that Trump passed the First Step Act. Amazing, amazing act. However, his next budget didn't fund it. So it went unenforced. And that's the issue, right? You can pass all the laws that you want when it comes to how the border should be patrolled, or you should even with executive orders, tell people to do things. If the funding isn't there to pay the people actually doing it, none of your orders mean jack. All right? So Trump, Biden, whoever, they can sign all the orders they want. But if the budget isn't passed, it's not going to happen. All right? And that was the problem with the First Step Act. And that's what's being debated on right now. It isn't about necessarily giving Biden more control or empowering the border police. It's about funding it primarily. There's some areas where that's not the case, but it's primarily about getting the money down there.
Fire is the answer.
Jamie 1 says democracy is cringe and gay, including all Marxist ideologies. I'm warming to the idea. Republicanism was the answer all along.
Monarchy? You're gonna go back to monarchy, Arch?
Republican monarchy? Fuck yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing, but...
No, absolutely. Why not? Okay, Norway's practically a Republican monarchy, really. We have a little bit too much democracy. We can get rid of that, but...
To be fair, Canada's too. There's like a constitutional monarchy here. Like, yeah.
Exactly. We have a pet on the throne, and they just need to be pretty and stuff, and we switch them out when they get old for their descendants, etc. And we just keep a running loop of these. And we pass them around the world like Pokemon, right? Like, they go to Japan, and we get the Japanese bunch for a time, and they look around the country and go, "That's very pretty." Fantastic. And then they just stay out of politics. This is how we do it. Republican monarchy is what we need.
Okay, I think it's time for me to go, Arch. It is the end for old Dev.
First, you must answer one question, Dev.
Okay,
From
do it.
Apollo536 here for $20. How many American citizens did Trump drone strike?
We don't know, actually.
0.
Because Trump's administration stopped reporting on drone strikes.
0.
How many did Obama's, by the way? Do you guys know?
Zilch.
Wait, it's not zilch
None.
for Obama.
Service
Hold on.
guarantee.
No, Obama did drone
Go
strike
on.
people, Arch. Arch
keep
is coming
going.
out pro-Obama here. Hold on. Obama drone strike American citizen. Yeah, that's right.
Service
He
guarantee
drone striked
citizenship.
one. Abdul Rahman Anwar al-Awaki. He was a 16-year-old American citizen who was killed by a drone strike on October 14th, 2011. That's right.
Heresy's the
Why was
question.
he killed,
Murdered.
though?
He
Fire is the
murdered an
answer.
American citizen, Dev.
He did.
The entire establishment should have stopped him.
Oh, yeah. It's because he was visiting his father in an Al-Qaeda compound. All right. Well, you know what? I think that's fine. We can blow up Americans who are socializing with Al-Qaeda members. I'm okay with that. You know what? The minute you do that, I think you should just lose your citizenship. All right?
Guilt by
all traitors.
association. Dev
All-
renounces
yes,
his Canadian
yes,
citizenship.
All traitors should lose their American citizenship,
Bum
whether
dev.
it's traitors to America through Al-Qaeda or traitors through some like Marxist university bullshit Antifa BLM cell, or if it's traitors during the January 6th riot. They should all be purged. All of them. Unequivocally.
Okay. Mark
It's time to go,
Shame
though.
says we will pay for Dev versus V election stream. Schedule it for election night.
I've got to go though. I'll see you later, Arch. Thanks for having me once again.
Goodbye,
Service
Judev.
guarantee citizenship.
Tino Pormiar, Arch and Dev, hope you are both well. Well, Dev is not. Dev is dead. What would be the better story for Warhammer Fantasy besides the end time, of course? Anything. Literally anything. Just do the Storms of Chaos again. Everyone loves a good Storm of Chaos. Just do more Storms of Chaos. Or you could do some invasions by hobgoblin hordes, for example. Or you could have, I don't know, lizardmen starting to invade the old world for some mystical fucking reason. Anything. Literally anything. People from the moon, I don't care, really. There's another Black Plague. Do that. Possibilities are endless. The real Dan Clank. Democracy killed Socrates. Boot Dev.
Heresy's
Boot
the
him now.
question. Fire is the answer.
Alex Adamson. I'm currently an hour and a half behind the stream, so that's why I'm bringing this up now. You say everyone in hell is gay. There are 3 characters. In Hasbin Hotel, there are what? There's 4, 5, 6. Is there 7 gay characters in Hell of a Boss? In Hasbin Hotel, there's 1, 2, 3. Is that one gay? 4. There's 4. There's Mothman, Angel Dust, Charlie, Vaggie. 4, I think. Who are like openly outright
Heresy's the
homosexual.
question. Fire is the answer.
And the rest are probably gay or bisexual deep down. Samuel527, look up the Codex lore entry for Wonder Woman in the Suicide Squad game. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I probably heroically sacrificed herself to save Superman or something by stabbing him in the heart of kryptonite. Rain Tenor, Pebble Woman, the Republicans cuck on every deal. What are you talking about? Exactly, that's the problem. They cuck. Forbid them from cucking. Ban them from cucking. Okay. Compromise is all well and good, but we need less of it. Significantly less of it. Ipple, Potato. It doesn't fix the problem, Dev. It's not a compromise if one side gets everything and the other
Service
side doesn't get
guarantees
anything.
citizenship.
It gives illegals blanket amnesty. Dev only seems to read bill headlines and leftist summaries. Comma Dev L. Compromise is over-fucking-rated. Sometimes enforcing your will on the weaker party via violence.
Service guarantees citizenship.
It's just how the definition of elections. Enforcing the tyranny of the public's will upon the minority via the threat of violence.
Heresy's the question.
There you go.
Fire
I've
is
justified
the
it.
answer.
To Father Blade, you want us to police the world? Fine, pay up or strike your flag and accept a second-class citizenship for 300 years. No, you'll still be our world police. For free. As long as Trump's not in office, you will continue to pay out the nose
Heresy's the
for
question.
my protection.
Fire is the answer.
I recognize that. I recognize it's not fair, but I am more than happy to take advantage of it whilst it lasts. Hey, I didn't even ask you to, okay? You're doing this by yourself. No one donate $5. The farmers should Mad Max up their tractors. Bring back terrified politicians. Yes. Yes, indeed. Anthony Norwood. Problem is, most Republicans are feckless, and their deal was both things Dems wanted while giving citizens nothing they wanted. Compromise. Garb Wire, as my father told me when I was 5, democracy is when everyone get what they don't want. See, if that was the case, that would be good. That would be an excellent thing, Garb Wire. If nobody got what they wanted, if everyone left pissed off, angry, and frustrated, now that's democracy. Your old man had a great point there. Sadly, we're not there yet. Marksman of 117B. Bukele, President of Salvador, dunked on Ilhan Omar. President of Salvador. Man, this is some niche shit you're bringing up here, I must say. Polo, Rain Terror, Purple Woman. Remember when it was revealed when his generals were lying to him? I remember. Why didn't Obama's generals go, oh, sorry, sir, we couldn't find that American citizen you wanted to blow up? Fucking tragedy. Artemis Fowl. Dev, it literally is true that president is going to unilaterally reject foreigners. Teddy Roosevelt asked Muslim foreigners about Aisha and Muhammad. He sent them back from where they came from. There's a travel ban on Nazis. You cannot be a National Socialist and be given entrance to America. I wish we'd use that prerogative against certain people, like Ilhan Omar, maybe. I don't even know if she's American. She probably is. Mark Shamed, we will pay for Devi's election. Yep. We will have to try and set something up. Solanich, Gonzalo Lira being killed by the Ukrainian Gestapo. Dev, America. Fuck yeah. Not America. Dev is based in a very confusing way. Okay? Again, Dev's wrong. Abdul was in a cafe when he was drone strike and had not contacted his father in years. Obama admins had no answers why they'd killed him. Should have had a better dad. And Scarf Strange says, so Dev supports droning federal agents. Oof. I mean, I'm not endorsing anything, of course. Yeah, well, potato. So Dev thinks the government should decide if you get a trial or not. How very communist of you, Dev. Indeed. And lastly, Apollo 536, Chicago Sun-Times, the epitome of journalistic integrity. Absolutely. Well, that was refreshing. Republican monarchism. That is my addition now to the idea of 2000ism. So we will have 2000ism backed up by a little bit of... I see how that works. In fact, you know what? I think that's a pretty brilliant idea right there, and I am all for it. All for it. Thank you all very much for watching, and for your generous donations as well. And I hope to see you all again soon. In fact, I think we'll continue the Total War campaign again tomorrow. Then we'll do Rogue Trader on Monday. I gotta stream more. I have too many games I need to wrap up. Okay, that's what we need to do now. We gotta get them done. We gotta get stuff rolling, boys. Yes. Electoral college for a monarch. Maybe, chat. Maybe. Until next time. Have a good night. Oh, yeah, FNAF. FNAF will resume in a bit, because I'm going to give everybody a break on the FNAF front of probably at least a month or so, I'm thinking, so that everyone can come back to FNAF relaxed, and hopefully I've gotten over all of my frustration with animatronics by then, so that I can actually get into it like it's a horror game again, instead of a fucking running simulator. That's my plan. And thus, for the third time, good night.